high school football fans, welcome back to Friday nights, to pure spirits, to pure sports. Welcome back to high school football.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back!
This is Friday night. This is Indiana high school football. This is your IHSAA.
From Park Tudor School, just off of 71st and College Avenue here on the north side of Indianapolis, this is 1A IHSAA football on IndianaSRN and the IHSAA Champions Network. Tonight's contest features two teams looking to set a good tone entering the middle third of the season. It's the Park Tudor Panthers hosting the Knights of Traders Point Christian. Kurt Darling alongside Sean Kroll. Thank you for joining us tonight on a beautiful September evening. The Traders Point Knights, they are riding some momentum coming into tonight's contest, having beat South Newton at home just a week ago, which was their first win of the season. On the other side, though, Park Tudor enters tonight humbled, says head coach Spencer Somerville after falling to Centerville on the road. Still, both teams are confident as we see two independent schools duke it out for the fourth time ever. Traders Point leading the all-time series 3 games to 2. 2 games to 1, rather. Sean Kroll, good to be with you here tonight. So obviously two teams that were actually probably expecting a really good matchup here tonight, and there's two very different teams, but yet could possibly meet in a good stalemate here tonight.
I think this is going to be a fantastic game tonight, Kurt. You look at the records, and they might tell a different story, but just looking at who they've played. Traders Point played Heritage Christian, who lost in a regional to the eventual state champion Western Boone, and then they lost at Covenant Christian, who won the 1A state title last year. That's a tough road to hoe your first 2 games. Kept the games close, then they won against South Newton. Park Tudor beat 4A Shortridge 49-0, then took care of Tinley, went on the road, played a pretty good team on the road in Centerville, and it was a close game, 28-13. This is going to be a game that really is, I think, a barometer for both teams.
The Traders Point Knights coming into this contest, as I said earlier, having beaten South Newton after falling to their first 2 games in Heritage Christian and Covenant Christian. So, in talking to Coach Sam Carnes earlier this week here, Sean, he actually said to me that they probably play a tougher schedule than they will have through the entire postseason up until the regional ranks.
And I think that's something that a lot of coaches do now, is they like to play up in schedule before they hit conference. These two schools are different because they don't really have a conference. You want to play those teams so they toughen you up for tournament time. And that's something I think that a lot of coaches do, especially in basketball, and they're doing in football, and it benefits them. We've seen it with other teams before, Covenant Christian for one. And we saw Heritage Christian against Park Tudor in the scrimmage, and Park Tudor was feisty against a really good Heritage Christian team, and when they played them, they were feisty. So, and Traders Point played Covenant Christian pretty well. This is going to be a fun game.
Indeed it will be. We'll go ahead and take our first timeout of the pregame. When we come back, we will take a look into some of the starting lineups and other keys to the game. You're watching IHSAA football here on IndianaSRN.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a deer. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
What's the number one misconception you think about Freemasonry?
Well, I think most people just think of Freemasonry as some kind of secret society, and you go with some of the rumors out there and so on, and they really don't understand who we are. They don't understand that we are a fraternity of brothers first, and our obligation is to take care of each other and our widows and orphans, etc. within our group. They don't understand what the fraternity part of Freemasonry really is. And that's the misconception that's out there. I think first and foremost of anyone that wants to join Freemasonry, I'd like them to know that it's really not a secret society. You may say it's a society with a secret because we have some handshakes and some passwords that you could easily find down in the library if you get the right book. Freemasonry is more, it's a brotherhood, it's a fraternity, it's a way of sharing common thoughts and everything with people of all different vocations that really understand of getting together on the level. Whether you're a judge or a police officer or a janitor, you're all on the same level when you're in a Masonic lodge room. And I think that's one of the greatest things, that you can sit with people of all vocations, but you have that certain thing in common, that you're all brothers.
Back live here at Park Tudor School here on Indiana SRN. Kurt Darling alongside Sean Kroll. The coin toss just commenced, and Park Tudor has won the toss, and they will start the first half with the ball. I can't talk apparently today, as it's been a long week, but either way, Park Tudor going to be starting with the football here. Of course, Sean Kroll, we have two teams here, but also we have some other teams to talk about here, of course, and of course we're looking at the Indiana SRN polls. How are we looking this week?
We are looking really good in 1A. Number 1 is Lutheran, 2 South Adams, 3 Park Heritage, 4 Monroe Central, and coming in at number 5, Covenant Christian. In 2A, Fort Wayne Lures is 1, Heritage Christians 2, Eastbrook 3, Evansville Mater Dei is 4, and Tipton is 5. We'll do 3A, and then we'll save the rest for a little bit later. Well, 1 is West Lafayette, jumping high. Number 2, Brebeuf Jesuit after defeating New Palestine last week. Gibson Southern, love Gibson Southern. Danville at 4, and coming in at 5, Tri-West, the Bruins hitting the polls.
So we'll take a look at the rest of the polls here in a little while, but first we have to get to the game at hand here. So Traders Point will be kicking the ball away as you see Reagan Smith, who will be teeing the ball up for Traders Point. Reagan Smith, the only girl on this Traders Point Christian squad. She is a Division I level soccer player, according to Coach Sam Carnes, and she handles the kicking duties. She was recruited by Coach to come here and handle the kicking duties here for this football team. You kind of got it when you play for a 1A school there, Sean. Sometimes you got to dig a little deep.
Yeah, when the numbers are low, you go where you can go.
And she puts a boot into it, an excellent kick, and it is grabbed out of the air there by C.J. Thompson for Park Tudor, and he will get pushed out of bounds just shy of the 27-yard line, mark it at about the 26-yard line. And this is where we will see DJ Gordon, I assume, will be the starter at quarterback for Park Tudor, as it was kind of a question mark as to whether or not Gordon would be able to go here tonight because he's been dealing with an ankle injury.
He has. They've played some other guys in, most notably Willie Sanders as quarterback. But when Gordon's healthy, they like to run the offense through him because he can run and throw as well. Just a dynamic athlete who started last year as a freshman.
Indeed, it is DJ Gordon in the gun with Caden Whitehead to his right. And the give is to Whitehead, and he is immediately met in the backfield. A good, solid play there on defense from Calvin Falk, the defensive end for Traders Point. His 7th tackle of the season and his first tackle for loss.
2 linebackers crashed because they saw the read option, and knew that it was going to hand it off, and they didn't even really need the help. That was a quick tackle on that play.
So Park Tudor taking their time as they get backed up a few yards to the 22-yard line. 3 wide receivers bunched to the far side here, and there's a pitch to Whitehead. Following some blockers, turns the corner, gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and will get forced down, maybe gaining back a yard to the 27.
Nice pitch play to kind of check and balance, because they brought the 2 linebackers in on the blitz again. Couldn't quite get around the corner, didn't get that seal on the outside from the receivers to get him up the sideline because he's got the quickness. Let's see what they do here on 3rd and long.
And DJ Gordon, again, the starting quarterback as a freshman last year, gets his first pass away of the game. His receiver has to try and come back to it. That's Caleb Jones, and it just goes over his head.
Yeah, a little too much air under that ball for DJ Gordon, and both a great job by the defensive back getting his head turned around and seeing where the ball was and not getting any interference penalties by stopping the receiver.
So it'll be 4th down and long here for Park Tudor, as they will have to punt the ball away. And handling the punting duties is Harvey Lambert, the senior, who's averaging 35 yards a punt this season. The longest he has booted is 40 yards. And it's a very decent punt right there, as a fair catch is called for by Philip Moran at the 40, make it the 35-yard line.
Pretty good punt. As Cooper Simmons Little and his squad comes out, it's going to be interesting to see. They like to spread it out and let her rip. Sam Carnes and his brother Ben like to get it in the air off early and often.
So our first look now at Cooper Simmons Little, the quarterback here for Traders Point, with Elias Underwood in the backfield with him. Underwood standing all of 5'6", and the pitch is to Underwood. He has a lot of running room up the middle and enough for a first down.
Great misdirection from the jet sweep, pulling it out and then giving it to Underwood in that gap and letting him get through the hole and gain a ton of yards there. As it's 2nd down, they mark him short. 2nd down, about 2.
And Underwood could pass 1,000 career rushing yards tonight with just 21 rushing yards. So if he gets that many yards tonight, he will be a 1,000-yard rusher. But instead he loses a couple right there. It'll be 3rd down and about 3.
Great penetration there by Luke Hayes, the 6'5 defensive end, to stop him in his tracks.
3 wide receivers to the near side, and now we have a whistle and a flag on the play. Might get Traders Point for a false start here. No, it looks like they're pointing to Park Tudor. It might be an offsides.
Yeah, I wonder if he was in the neutral zone.
So they're going to get an encroachment penalty here for Park Tudor. And so that's an automatic first down, as there's enough yardage there, and that moves the chains to the 47-yard line. And they haven't gotten the chains reset here, as Traders Point's ready to go. So it's first down. Simmons Little looking for his receiver. Does he have the catch? Yes, he does. What a catch there by Philip Moran. Call it a gain of about 30 yards and into plus territory for the Knights.
In a previous game we had with Traders Point, he likes to throw it up and let Moran go get it, and that's exactly what they did on that play.
Philip Moran, the leading receiver, has 9 receptions, now 10 receptions on the season for 147 yards. This time the give is up to gut. Looks like that's Bostic on the call. Now they're going to give that to Underwood again, and he gets tackled there about maybe after a gain of a couple yards.
Luke Hayes again on that tackle from his defensive end position.
Once again, Traders Point keeping up the tempo. Little hands it off to Elias Underwood again, and he gets stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. Doesn't even gain a yard on that one.
Tommy Cross, and number 50, that linebacker, you're going to see him a lot tonight on the defensive end for the Panthers.
Aaron Roach on the initial hit tackle.
So make it 3rd down and 7. And now Traders Point taking their time here. Wide receiver in motion. Simmons Little looks over the flat, nearly picked off by Park Tudor, and unable to come down with it there.
Broken up by Reagan Harris.
And that's going to be Reagan Harris, who just could not quite haul it in.
Trying to get to Sam Johnson on that crossing route. That's the thing about Simmons Little is he locks in, he's going to throw it, and it almost cost him there.
So still 4th down, and they're going to go for it here are the Knights. Little has some time over the right side, and it's going to be incomplete, just short of Philip Moran, and that's going to be a turnover on down. So a promising drive there for the Knights comes up empty, and Park Tudor will take over at about the 24-25 yard line here on their side of the football field.
Moran's the receiver he likes to go to. He just couldn't get the ball to him in time. Moran tried to go get his hands under it, couldn't quite do it, and it's Park Tudor ball.
DJ Gordon taking his time here as they try to shake off that 3-and-out opening drive.
2-back set here.
Gordon hands the ball off. No, he hands it off to Whitehead. Has some running room, cuts back to the inside, and has enough for the first down of the game for Park Tudor as they blow the play dead. And now we have a flag on the field. It's laying at about the 25-yard line. And so it's going to be a holding penalty. So that is definitely a backbreaker right there, as you have finally a really good play up going forward, and now that's mitigated. Instead of going forward 10 yards, you back up 10 yards.
I see why they brought the second back in, is to try and help them protect the quarterback, and they got the playoff and ran the play they wanted, but the holding will kill you every time. Penalties, especially on 1st down, 2nd and long, is not a fun place to be.
And now the officials are going to converse here in the middle of the field, as the call on the field was a holding penalty. And so they're probably checking the spot to make sure it is all good. So 1st down and 15 is the official stance here from the ball spotters.
1st and long is as bad as 2nd and long.
Gordon rolling now to his right, has his receiver caught at about the 25, maybe the 24-yard line. He gets pushed out of bounds on the reception there. Was Jonathan Harris.
Nice pop by Sam Johnson to not let him try and shake loose and get some more yardage on that.
So Jonathan Harris, one of those versatile players for Park Tudor. He runs the ball more than he catches it, but when he does catch the ball, he does it for big plays. He has 6 receptions for 101 yards coming into tonight. Gordon hands it off to Whitehead. Has a lot of running room up the middle, gets a 1st down, and is just shy of the 40. Call it about the 36-yard line is where they'll spot the ball.
Using those big boys up front, Bryson Hobbs, Mason Jennings, Rylan Watkins, Aiden Kleinman, and Ty Lewis. They average over 6 foot, 220, 230, so they got some beef.
From the pistol, Whitehead, and he's buried right at the line of scrimmage, as it looked like you had Elias Underwood in on that tackle.
Looked like he was shot out of a rocket coming up to make that play. Just stonewalled him.
Perfectly executed blitz right there. Elias Underwood, primarily the star on offense, led the team last year in rushing yards. He had 577 yards. One of the leading tacklers on the team this year on defense. Gordon Offset, has a receiver caught at the 25-yard line. What a play to Kason Ritz.
Great catch by Ritz, but you can see the defensive back get caught up coming across the middle, and the receiver got behind him. Nice throw by Gordon to get it to him. Those are tougher throws sometimes when they're so open like that.
So we take a look at the replay here, just off his back foot here from Gordon.
Nice snag over his head.
Indeed, a nice snag. Gordon hands the ball off to Whitehead. He turns the corner, picks up the first down, standing up into the inside the 5-yard line, and that is right where they will spot it. And Park Tudor has a first and goal to go situation now.
Some great play calling on this drive to come back with the run to the left side after rolling out to the right in that long pass.
Gordon from the 5. Give is to Whitehead. He fakes it, and Gordon goes into the end zone, standing up for a Park Tudor touchdown.
Boy, honest to goodness, I was going to say before that play, now's about the time where Gordon, after the handoff's, going to fake it, keep it, and go in. And sure, he gets all the love now because he got in the end zone for 6.
So Park Tudor is able to overcome a 3-and-out on their opening drive. And now you have Lambert here to try and put it up for an extra point. He puts it up, and it is through the uprights. 7-0 is the score. Back in a minute here on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Seven 7-0 is the score. Park Tudor takes the early lead, overcoming a 3-and-out on their first drive. They march all the way down the field. It's set up by a big pitch and catch from DJ Gordon to Kason Ritz. Believe it or not, his first reception of the season, as Kason Ritz had a big one to come up right there. So Kason Ritz will get probably a lot of accolades for that one. And so getting ready to put the ball away here is going to be Park Tudor, as you have Harvey Lambert getting ready to tee the ball up. But that was a really big play there by Kason Ritz.
Yeah, especially for your first catch of the year. 6 plays, 79 yards on that drive for the Panthers.
So Harvey Lambert tees it up, puts the ball away. And on the kick return, big one there from Tobias Grant, goes all the way down, but we have a flag on the far near side of the field. We'll see what the call is here. Hopefully it stands up if you're head coach Sam Carnes.
He threw it after Grant got through the big wave and hit so I'm wondering maybe face mask, or I don't know. It didn't seem like all his blockers were behind him, so I'm not sure what that could have been for.
The officials conversing right now at about the 35-yard line. So Tobias Grant caught the ball at about the 20-yard line. They have the ball spotted at the opposite 30-yard line. So call that about a 50-yard return if it holds up. So the flag came from the near side of the field, but the ball went out of bounds all the way on the far side of the field. So it'll be interesting to see what the flag is here from the near line judge. The officials still conversing right now. Meanwhile, a quick score update here for you. New Palestine is up on Mount Vernon right now. That score is 7-0 in the early going.
Looking to get a little bit of redemption after getting their first regular season loss last year for Kyle Ralph at Mount Vernon.
Meanwhile, Hamilton Southeastern is on top of Fishers 7-0 with 5 minutes left to go in quarter number 1.
I will not show any emotion for that game.
Of course, my broadcast partner, Sean Kroll, teaches at Hamilton Southeastern. And so we have an illegal procedure on the kicking team. The penalty is going to be declined. Meanwhile, there's also some sideline warnings as well. So no penalty yardage will be accrued. The ball stays spotted at the 30-yard line. So that is a big kick return to set up a short drive, hopefully here for Sam Carnes and his Traders Point Christian Knights.
It's interesting that was the call. He threw that flag so late, but he knew what he was calling, so we'll go with it.
So after an illegal procedure, that ball is now at the 33-yard line officially. First down and 10 here for the Knights. As the officials are once again waiting here, as we got to try and get a few other things sorted out.
By the way, Tobias Grant just joined the team last week. Basketball player that Coach Carnes recruited. He had to get the requisite practices in, and you can see the talent he's got.
Of course, a few more stories about how he recruits for this team here a little later on. Elias Grant on the wheel route has enough for a gain of about 9 yards.
Oh, he got popped on that one, too. There's some hitting going on tonight.
But you mentioned how Coach Carnes recruits players. When he first got to Traders Point, he talked to me and he said that he talked to the current players that were on the team. As you see, another big pitch and catch right up the middle, standing up into the end zone, Sam Johnson. Touchdown, Traders Point.
They love that play. Cooper Simmons-Little went to it a lot against Covenant Christian. Quick slant right across the middle. Hits him in stride. Missed tackles. Touchdown.
An excellent post route there from Sam Johnson. That's going to be his 4th touchdown catch of the season. That puts him over 200 yards receiving on the year. He is the leading receiver. Now we see Reagan Smith put her boot into the ball, and she remains perfect on points after touchdowns, her 6th of the season. Back in a minute here on IndianaSRN.
How does a good man become even better? By working out? Or by working his way up the corporate ladder? By changing his diet? Or by changing his style? By traveling the world? Or by staying perfectly still? For 300 years, we've helped good men become the best versions of themselves through a dedicated fraternity and by taking an oath to live a life of integrity, service, and brotherly love. Men who are as committed to each other and their families as they are to our noble cause. In the end, we don't just make men better, we make them Masons. Not just a man, a Mason.
We're all tied up at 7 apiece here at Park Tudor School on the north side of Indianapolis. We're alongside Sean Kroll. I'm Kurt Darling. Sean, a very quick drive there by the Knights.
You know, nothing, a little kickoff in 2 plays in 26 seconds. Do you a little good after going down 7-0.
And another short kick fielded there by C.J. Thompson. Nearly gets tripped up, shakes a couple tackles, stays on his feet across midfield. and he will be put out of play there at about the Knights' 49-yard line. As we take a look at the replay here, as we said, we don't have the replay there, but either way, an excellent pitch and catch there to Sam Johnson to tie the game up. But I was talking there before we got that catch there, Sean, as you talked about how Tobias Grant was recruited to this team. When Sam Carnes first got to this school, he put out a survey, basically, amongst his current players that he was inheriting from head coach Adam Stevenson prior to him. And he asked each player who here is at this school that isn't playing football that should be. Cooper Simmons-Little was one of those players who signed on, as well as Philip Moran and, of course, Sam Johnson.
And that's really, the biggest, the triumvirate of their offense right there. And even on defense with Sam Johnson. I mean, there's some serious athletes at this school, and sometimes, like we've talked about, a 1A school, you've got to pull kids from other sports to play, and there's nothing wrong with playing multiple sports. That's the way I think it really should be.
Speaking of Sam Johnson, right now he is being helped off of the field by the training staff for Traders Point as he got hit awkwardly right there on that special teams play the previous time, so he is gingerly being helped off the field. That's certainly going to be a big loss. And if you're a 1A school, I mean, if you have an injured player, that's really tough to overcome.
I mean, we can look at the Traders Point sideline and see how few players they have left on the sideline, and Sam Johnson made a great play on that touchdown, so he is vital for them.
So DJ Gordon in plus territory to start this drive. Has an easy pitch and catch out to his receiver, tackled inside the 40 down to about the 36. Charlie Perrine on the reception.
Nice play there. 4 catches for 31 yards coming in for Perrine, and he's added to that total already.
DJ Gordon now in the pistol. The clock is moving.
Ooh. Waited on his cadence for the blitz.
Here comes the blitz from Traders Point, and they're able to read it perfectly, though, as Caden Whitehead hits the truck stick, bulldozering over Philip Moran. He gets a first down inside the 30.
Great job getting just enough of a clip on that, not an illegal clip, but just a little piece on that blitzing linebacker to allow DJ Gordon to get the ball to Whitehead to get the first down.
Whitehead standing to Gordon's left. Gordon has time to throw, has a receiver in the end zone, just overthrows Caleb Jones. That's the second time he's gone to Jones tonight and hasn't been able to connect.
Boy, Jones was kind of routed towards the inside, and Gordon kind of led him to his off shoulder, and he just couldn't get his body turned around as he kept running the route kind of towards the inside, but man, he was open.
Still a good play call right there from head coach Spencer Somerville. You still have 2nd down and 10 at the 25-yard line.
Still plenty of space. Keep the playbook open here.
Gordon rolls to his left. Again, this time looking for Whitehead over the flat, and instead puts it a little bit too far forward from him.
That's a tough play to roll out to your left and throw it right-handed into that corner and just missed his receiver. Man, that's difficult, but Gordon almost pulled it off.
So the clock stopped now at 5:06.
Their first 2 plays both got first downs, and they've had incomplete passes the next 2. I'm interested to see what they do here.
Blitz shown here from Traders Point. They come on it, pressure in the backfield, and look at that, Elias Underwood gets his 5th sack of the season.
Boy, I tell you what, Caden Whitehead tried best he could to fight him off. Underwood was way too quick. What you're trying to do there, if you're Park Tudor on that blitz, is get the single coverage. They had it, but if you can't block the blitzer in Underwood, there's nothing you can do. And now it's 4th and long, and what are they going to do? Are they going to try and flip the field? Are they going to go for it?
It's an interesting call right here because Harvey Lambert, his longest field goal of the season, his only field goal made of the season, is from 31 yards out. So you're still outside of your field goal range right there as we go to a timeout on the field. Back in a minute on Indiana SRN.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Well, an interesting play call here from Coach Spencer Somerville. They are going to attempt a 51-yard field goal from Harvey Lambert. And so Traders Point is going to have a man back to try and return this. That's Xavier Gibson. Long enough into the end zone, it's just going to be a touchback.
Let it go!
So Xavier Gibson opting to go with the touchback right there, and so they will bring the ball back out to the 25-yard line. So an interesting play call right there, having a little bit of faith in his kicker. Certainly had some leg, just not quite enough leg.
I had ugly flashbacks there to a kick six and an Iron Bowl a few years ago that gave me bad memories.
That'd be the Alabama-Auburn Iron Bowl. That was definitely a play to remember. So no heroics like that this time around. So instead, the ball will be brought back out to the 20-yard line.
You think he could have got past the 20-yard line on that?
Maybe just a little bit. Cooper Simmons-Little hands the ball off to Underwood, and he gets grabbed at the line of scrimmage, but not before he falls forward for a gain of 3.
Spreading them out.
Approaching the 4-minute mark. Again going to Underwood, and he nickel and dimes his way up to the 27-yard line.
I think what they're trying to do here is they're trying to get those linebackers to cheat up to the line of scrimmage to get that space in the middle for that short crossing route in the middle.
And there's going to be a false start. At least it appears that way. It may be forcing
one player
Traders Point offside, or forcing them to false start. They may have an encroachment here. We'll see what the penalty is.
Who jumped first?
And it's going to be a false start against Traders Point. So looked like that was Philip Moran kind of misjudging the snap count. And that's a killer right there. You get backed up 5 yards, so it's going to be from 3rd and short to 3rd and not very long, but still long enough to be a little bit difficult.
It would not surprise me here after the 2 runs to see them try that short little crossing route in the middle that got them the touchdown earlier.
Clock ticks inside of 4 minutes.
Yeah, they're playing off the slot.
Little feels the pressure. Over up and intercepted. Park Tudor gets the interception, and it's going to be fielded back to the 25-yard line. Jonathan Harris with his first pick of the season.
That's the route they were looking for, but Harris read it, and I didn't think he broke enough to the inside for that play, and Simmons-Little just led it a little too far.
Just kind of misjudged the target right there as you see Harris come away with a big interception, and it's in plus territory for them too, and they have great field position to kind of pick up from where they left off on the previous drive.
So the missed field goal opportunity doesn't hurt them.
Gordon hands it off to Whitehead, follows his blockers, gets down to the 20. And so that's actually Jonathan Harris's third interception on the season. He leads the team in that category. So,
score update. Sorry, go ahead.
If you're a quarterback, you definitely don't want to throw it to Harris. Score update here from Sean Kroll.
Heritage Christian over Eastern Hancock, 7-0 in the first. Cathedral 14-0 over Chittard in the first.
Whitehead hits the truck stick on Elias Underwood and falls forward nearly close to first down yardage. Looks like he may just have enough to do it.
That was almost a body wind-up, waiting for it to come, and he laid the wood.
So a big play there from Caden Whitehead, standing all of 5'10", 170 pounds, going up against Elias Underwood, who stands about 5'6" and 175 pounds. Bobbled snap from Gordon. He takes it himself. Cuts to the outside, sheds a tackler, sheds another tackler, gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Park Tudor. DJ Gordon on a broken play just keeps it himself and earns another 6 points for the Panthers.
Boy, how about that? Whoops. Have an issue with the snap. Let me just take care of this myself. Broke a couple of tackles. Got some great help from his receiver out to the left, and man, oh man. What a play. He's so athletic.
And that's the amazing thing about it. He's an athletic sophomore quarterback. He earned the starting job over Willie Sanders last year as a freshman. As you see Lambert put it through the uprights for a PAT. Back in a minute here on Indiana SRN. Park Tudor gets the lead back here by a touchdown off of some nifty footwork from DJ Gordon. Gets in for 6 after a bobbled snap, and now Traders Point, they can try to answer and tie this thing back up here with about 2:19 left in this first quarter.
Are they, when they're watching film on Sunday, is Coach Somerville going to say, hey, let's run that play where we botch the snap and DJ just takes it and scores? Let's put that in the playbook. You gotta like having the athleticism of a guy like DJ Gordon in your back pocket for moments just like that.
It definitely pays off for the Panthers. So Harvey Lambert going to be kicking it off yet again to Tobias Grant and Underwood. It's actually fielded by Xavier Gibson. Gibson tries to shake off some tacklers, gets stood up at the 20-yard line, and that is where they will start yet again, and that's where they started the previous drive after the missed field goal, which resulted in an interception by Cooper Simmons-Little. Of course, that was Simmons-Little's 7th interception on the season to go along with 7 touchdown passes. So, batting .500 there is the senior quarterback.
But yet, still in the Indianapolis, in the state, one of the leading passers in terms of yards, as we've seen on the Twitterverse, or the Twitter sphere.
Of course, junior quarterback, my mistake right there. He gets another year here at Traders Point. I'm sure Coach Carnes is very happy to have that to look forward to.
And he'll be on the hardwood as soon as the football season is over.
Exactly. Cooper Simmons-Little, as we talked about earlier, recruited from the baseball team as well as the basketball team at Traders Point to come play football. And an interesting story about how he earned the starting job, believe it or not. Last year he played wide receiver for Traders Point, but when Coach Carnes saw that he was throwing the ball back to the quarterback during warm-ups better than the quarterback was throwing the ball to him, they said, yeah, you're playing quarterback now, and it certainly has paid off.
It has. He's had some great passes, and he's got a nice, strong arm. I think there's no worries, too, about the health of DJ Gordon with the way he's played tonight. too. I want to see Sam Johnson on the sideline, see if he's back out on the field.
Little tries to dump it over the middle, looking for Underwood, but it looked like he got tripped up on that route. It falls incomplete.
Yeah, incidental contact, that'll happen, so no penalty on that one.
Quick lineup here, though, for Simmons Little. Hands the ball off to Underwood, has a full head of steam up the middle, and a good chunk of yardage right there to get outside the 25, maybe to the 27.
Nice job there. Safety coming in to make the tackle.
Again to Underwood. Tries to get some blocking up the middle, but no dice. Maybe scratching out a yard.
Man, I wonder about that because they had a linebacker out on the slot receiver on the near side here. Boy, I wish Simmons Little could have seen that. He could have exploited it.
4th down and short. And Traders Point maybe trying to draw them off sides here. Instead, they call an audible. Cooper Simmons Little under center for the first time tonight. Tries to get the quarterback sneak to get the first down. And by the looks of where the officials are coming out, I'd say he has it. And indeed he does.
That 6-foot frame helps when you're going forward. Lean into it, get that first down.
Clock continues to roll. 60 seconds left here in this first quarter. Little tries to look to the outside, nearly caught by Moran, and they're going to get a pass interference call here on Park Tudor as it appears. And that is going to be a big free play for Traders Point.
That is an interesting call. He threw it into double coverage.
Oh, it's going to be on the offense.
Oh, that's interesting.
They're going to get Philip Moran for shoving off of the defender. So instead, that will back them up 15 yards, and it will be first down again.
Great job by the safety. They recognize that play because of the film that they've watched on Traders Point. So he shaded over to the left. I believe that's Van Smith in order to cover that. Got double coverage. Moran pushed off. Now they're way, way back there. 15-yard penalty.
So that stops the clock at 52 seconds. 1st and 25 officially. Little fakes the handoff, finds his receiver. There's Sam Johnson. Back into the lineup. He gets all the penalty yardage back, and now will gain a yard even afterwards. Call it now 2nd and 9. And so Sam Johnson making a surprise return to the lineup right there makes it pay off.
It did not look good when he left the field, but good to see him back out there. Traders Point needs him. And that ball was close to being picked off as well. Looked like Donovan Pitts almost had it.
Little fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, has a lot of running room before he gets pummeled right at the 35-yard line. So maybe a gain of about 4 or 5 yards. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter. So going to the second, it's 14-7, Park Tudor with the lead. Back in a minute here on IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Heading to quarter number 2, we switch sides of the football field, and Park Tudor takes a 14-7 advantage into the second period. Alongside Sean Kroll, I'm Kurt Darling. Sean, some thoughts on that first quarter?
I think it's kind of what we expected. Both teams have thrown some body blows, and they're adjusting to it. Some big plays have been made, and as the game goes on, I think the team that makes the better adjustment is the team that's going to come out on top. This 3rd and short after being 1st and 25 is big for Traders Point.
Outside to his receiver there, Xavier Gibson with his first grab of the night. That goes for negative yardage as Park Tudor is all over that one.
Good tackle there by Jonathan Harris because he tried to shake loose to get that first down, and now they're back at 4th down. Covenant Christian up 14-0 on Indianapolis Washington in the first. Chittard up 21-0 early in the second quarter on Chittard. HSC up 21-7 on Fishers in the second quarter of the Mudsock game.
So the punt coming here, and now the rugby-style punt coming from Philip Moran takes a Traders Point bounce all the way inside the 30 and might get to the 25, and it just does. An excellent punt there from Philip Moran. Call that a net punt of about 60 yards.
And I love that when they use Moran to do it with his quickness. The rugby-style punt, he may not like it, but there's always the threat he's going to run for a first down. So Park Tudor and your opponents have to play that correctly, because if he sees any space at all, he's taking off.
It certainly makes them respect it a little bit more.
100%.
Number 11, Willie Sanders, quarterback for Park Tudor.
So DJ Gordon.
Willie Sanders behind center now.
And there's an interesting play right there. You have Willie Sanders, the backup quarterback, the senior, as you see DJ Gordon standing along the sideline with the athletic trainer. Pitch out to his receiver, goes out of bounds, does C.J. Thompson.
Wow, they missed a huge penalty, 80 for Park Tudor. I'll have to look up his name. Caleb Jones horse-collared and yanked down the defender, and nobody saw it.
So C.J. Thompson with that big gain. As once again, Willie Sanders has already seen a handful of action here this season. He was 7 for 13 and 156 yards. Fumble on the handoff. Who comes away with it? Traders Point says they have it. The official says that too. Turnover, and that is Willie Sanders' second fumble lost of the season.
And that makes you wonder, was he giving DJ Gordon a break physically after what he's done so far? If that's the case, he'll probably play the rest of the game at this point.
We'll see what happens, as DJ Gordon appeared to be just fine on the sideline. And Willie Sanders certainly none too happy with himself as he goes to the sideline.
DJ Gordon's like, Coach, come on now.
We'll see what Coach Somerville decides to do for the next one. In the meantime, the offense for Traders Point has excellent field position. And Simmons Little gets swallowed up in the backfield. Looks like he held on to the ball a little too long, and that's going to be a loss of 8 yards on the sack.
They tried that little fake jet sweep pass that they did on 3rd down in the last series, but he faked it and looked like he wanted to go in the middle, but the coverage was there. Down he goes, coverage sack for Park Tudor.
Give Luke Hayes the sack. He now has his second sack of the season. So Cooper Simmons Little taking his time here, getting his feet about him here as they try to make up the yardage. Little dumps it off to Elias Underwood, tries to get around his defender, not quite, but an excellent gain as he makes up the sack yardage and then some down to the 20-yard line.
Great block on the outside to get him once he caught it around the other defender. Almost like a block that turned into a pick on the second defender, which let him get that extra yardage and get down into the red zone.
Let's take a look at this replay. It's just an excellent play here by Underwood. So hear the chants for Cooper Simmons Little right there from the Traders Point faithful. An excellent crowd here on hand tonight for homecoming here at Park Tudor.
I keep expecting them to take the slot receiver and exploit the linebacker on coverage.
Quick pass over the middle, and that is caught by Xavier Gibson. He gets a first down, and now inside the 10 for a goal to go.
There's that CSL special. I call it Cooper Simmons Little. He loves that play.
Quick lineup again here from the Knights, trying to catch Park Tudor on their heels.
Under center.
And they tried a quarterback dive right there, and that goes nowhere. And now we have a flag down. It's on the near side yet again from the line judge. As the officials converse here at about the 5-yard line, it's going to be a false start, or rather, no, it's going to be an illegal procedure on Traders Point.
Bryson Hobbs, defensive tackle, 52, just came off the field with a little hitch in his giddy-up. So now they got a sub in, and again, these Class A schools with their numbers, boy, injuries can really take a toll.
So they still have to walk off the penalty yardage here. It's going to be a 10-yard penalty, or rather a 5-yard penalty, excuse me. So that backs them up outside of the 10-yard line, but it is still first and goal to go.
Still plenty of room to try anything if you want to try it in the middle of the field or even in the corners. Wouldn't surprise me to see them come down here to this right-hand corner and back corner for dropping in the bucket.
Little hands it off to Wonderwood, and he gets stuffed in the backfield. Traders Point certainly going in the wrong direction here with a big opportunity to try and knot it up.
Great push by Park Tudor's defensive line. Stood the Traders Point lineman up, nowhere to go. Shut him down for more lost yardage. This is 4-down territory, though, for Traders Point. So
well,
they still got 2 plays.
Keep in mind, though, they have Reagan Smith in their back pocket. She's 1 for 2 on field goals from this yardage. Receiver in motion, fakes the jet sweep. Little has to roll it out, loses the ball. Looks like Traders Point had jumped on it. They call that a fumble. And it is going to be Traders Point ball, it appears. And indeed it is. So Traders Point really feeling the wrath of an athletic Park Tudor defense here.
Great pressure there by Caleb Jones on the outside, forcing Cooper Little to lose control. Whether or not he threw it or fumbled it, that's for the referees to know, but it's 4th down now for the Knights.
Inside 8 minutes.
Does not surprise me here at all. They're going for it.
3rd down and 16. Over the middle, Sam Johnson tries to stay on his feet, gets back inside of the 5-yard line, and now you have a 4th and short to go here. Sam Johnson had an injury scare earlier in this ball game. Needless to say, the Knights are very happy he's back in.
Forgot the penalty. It wasn't actually 4th down. Now it is.
4th down and 4 to go. Little hands it off to Underwood. Standing up is the little man. Touchdown, Traders Point.
Great seal by the left side of the line in the center to give him that gap to run through, untouched into the end zone.
Underwood's second touchdown his first touchdown of the night, his second on the season. Now Reagan Smith, she is 1 for 1 on PATs tonight, 6 for 6 on the season.
This is so cool.
And the soccer player puts the melon-shaped ball through the uprights. We'll take a timeout here on IndianaSRN. Be sure to check out anything you want on demand at IndianaSRN on our YouTube channel. Click the red subscribe button at IndianaSRN on YouTube.com and get anything that you want from soccer to volleyball to football on demand. With Sean Kroll, I'm Kurt Darling, and we have ourselves a tie ball game after some pretty athletic and fundamental football that we have going on here from both squads.
You know, it's interesting because both teams have had mistakes that have, their first touchdowns, great drives. Both teams have then taken advantage of mistakes and turned them into points, which is why I think these teams are so closely matched, and this ball game is going to go down to the wire. It could be one of those last one with the ball wins.
We can only hope.
Yes.
For entertainment purposes, anyway.
Nothing like high school football on a Friday night.
Of course, on a beautiful Friday night, it is about 75 degrees. Not a cloud in the sky. Of course, we can enjoy it while we can before the winter is coming.
I'm just trying to see if I can get the waft of insomnia cookies over here from Broad Ripple.
Short kick fielded once again. Short there, but a big tackle made by Elias Underwood in special teams play there as that was fielded by C.J. Thompson.
He is everywhere.
And it's certainly amazing. Elias Underwood, standing all of 5'6", 175 pounds, but clearly has been probably the most effective athlete on this football field for either team.
Well, one of the guys that Sam Carnes talked about a couple weeks ago was one of the Heisers. I think it's Asher. He's a freshman. 5'3", 160. Said he's an animal. Said, you shouldn't be a football player, but you are a football player at that size. You got to love it.
So DJ Gordon is indeed back in at quarterback after taking a respite the last drive. And he hands it off to Whitehead, and he falls forward for a gain of 3. And you mentioned the Haynes kid being an animal, but just, one of the things that Coach Carnes mentioned going into this game was the fact that they were able to get that win at South Newton because he said, and I quote, my team finally slapped people around. Because they finally got physical, and it looks like they're definitely being that here tonight.
And I think that makes a huge difference when you've got such small rosters and you're bringing kids in to play football for the first time. I don't think they understand what it's like. Being punched in the mouth on the hardwood is completely different from being punched in the mouth on the gridiron. And sometimes you have to adjust to how that works. And they're like, oh, this is how it is? Okay, now I'm going to give it to you as well.
We have an official timeout on the field right now.
I think the scoreboard went out.
As the scoreboard went out. So, sometimes that happens.
I didn't kick it out.
Yeah, we're in the next room from the scorekeeper right now here, but I'm sure they'll get it all taken care of. As we'll go ahead and take a timeout with them. So back in a minute here on IndianaSRN.
Bertner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Well, we're in a official timeout on the field right now here at Park Tudor School, as it seems that the problem that they're encountering right now with the scoreboard is not up here in the press box, but rather the scoreboard itself, Sean Kroll.
That could be a problem unless an athletic director is a electrician on the side. That could be extremely interesting to see what they're going to do. And I think one of the things the officials have to consider is keeping the clock on the field themselves,
which will certainly make it harder for the fans to keep track of, and of course for us to keep track of as the game goes along. But that is an option to keep things moving, and we would just keep the keep the score up here the best we can.
Yeah, best we can. So if we've got a second scoreboard story, Brebeuf and Guerin, huge rivals. It's a basketball game, packed house. Keith Myers is producing. Thad Van Dieven and I are on the call. And we're in the top row. And the clock goes out. And the official on the scores table is trying to get the referee's attention as the ball's still in play. And finally they shout at the officials. The official immediately pivots, turns, and ejects the scoreboard operator. And they're like, no, you don't understand. We're trying to get your attention because the scoreboard's out. And the place went crazy. Everybody was standing up. We're standing up on the back row of bleachers just trying to see what's going on. Once all the dust settled, everybody stayed on the court. Nobody got tossed. They restarted the game, and the rivalry was continued.
Well, the players are heading back out to the field here, so it looks like, Sean Kroll, we may have a situation where the the clock is going to be kept on the field. Up, and there we go. We had the scoreboard flash up there, a few lights, so at least we know the scoreboard is working. It's just a matter of getting everything all squared away up there. But still, they're going to keep the clock on the field here as we will resume play. About 6:45 was left on the clock. We will keep the clock on our scoreboard the best that we can for you. And there is a big pass and catch to Charlie Perrine, his second catch of the night.
First and 10 on the 45-yard line.
First down, we'll have to rely also on the chain gang to make sure their down markers are correct.
And now, just as soon as we get back to playing, we have an injured player on the field, and can't see the number right there, but it looks like that might be Philip Moran, if I'm reading his side number correctly.
You have better eyes than I, and I'm not sure if you're looking through a screen. Yeah, you are, so am I. Moth won't go away.
You say it appears to be, yeah, indeed it is Philip Moran. As he gets lifted up, he's going to walk off under his own power. So looks like he got a little shaken up there as he will take a little bit of a respite. So that means Philip Moran will take a seat for the time being. And we'll probably see Nick Dearman as his backup check into the ball game.
Maybe just got the wind knocked out of him. That is known to happen. Not a fun experience.
First and 10, Park Tudor.
So first down and 10 here for Park Tudor.
Still playing 5 defensive backs.
Gordon has plenty of time. Over the middle, has his receiver, and he drops it. What a drop there by his receiver, Jonathan Harris.
Boy, he skied up to get it and just didn't bring it down with him when he came down. I think once he touched it, he was ready to run, and you got to secure it before you can go anywhere.
So that'll be second down and 10.
Ooh.
Clock stopped at about 6:18 left here in the second quarter.
Cathedral's handing it to Chittard, 28-0 in the second quarter.
Gordon, quick pass. Oh! An interesting play. Caden Whitehead off of the pitch from Charlie Prine. Touchdown, Park Tudor.
The old hook and lateral. A callback from the 1980s. What a play.
And that is not a play that you see every day, Sean Kroll.
And it was executed perfectly. Great catch by Perrine. Streaking down the side, hit him in stride, nobody home.
So that's going to be Caden Whitehead's first touchdown of the night. And that is going to be 20-14 as Harvey Lambert puts the ball through the uprights to make it 21-14 with just under 6 minutes left to go here in this second quarter. Back in a minute here on IndianaSRN.
Bertner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Well, Park Tudor has the lead 21-14 here with just under 6 minutes remaining off of a rare hook and ladder play from Charlie Prine to Caden Whitehead, who literally came with a full head of steam to put the Panthers up late here in this first half.
Boy, you old heads out there will remember the San Diego Chargers Miami Dolphins in 1981 playoff game.
And there's a muffed ball right there, but Trader's Point falls on top of it at the 30-yard line.
Chargers jump out to a great lead with down Fouts and Eric Coryell, and Miami comes back, and right before the half with the old hook and lateral, got it close. Oh, my goodness. That's backyard football.
You got to love it. You see a whole bunch of different things as we take a look at this play here again here, Sean.
And great pass. I mean, they just set it up absolutely perfect.
Just completed, and then Caden Whitehead turns on the afterburners. God, what a play.
That was awesome.
That's probably the play of the year that I've seen so far this season. But now Traders Point still has an opportunity to respond as Elias Underwood sheds off a couple of tacklers, keeps his feet moving, but is barely able to get off the line of scrimmage.
Second down for Traders Point.
These boys are hitting tonight.
And as we talked about, Coach Carnes, he's happy that his team is finally, literally as I said, slapping people around in order to try to get their point across and be as physical as they can.
You've seen guys on both sides shaking the cobwebs off coming off the field, so that lets you know there's some slobber knocking going on out there.
Cooper Simmons Little hands it off to Elias Underwood, who has a little bit of a hole, but it quickly collapses on him. Still, he pushes forward a gain of 5.
I really wish the referees would let us, before the drive start, let us know how much time's left.
So call it 3rd down and 6, as it looks like it's about 5 minutes left.
Maybe I should just look at our monitor.
Underwood. And again, stuffed at the line of scrimmage. So they run 3 straight running plays to Elias Underwood, and it barely gets them anything, as it's about 4th down and 5 yards.
That's surprising that they wouldn't throw it there on 3rd down.
And a quick scoreboard update here for you. We've managed to get the score back on the scoreboard, but still trying to figure out the time, the period, and a few other details that are certainly essential. And the play clock is working again as well.
That's definitely a different scoreboard update, hardware scoreboard update.
Literally the hardware.
Time out on the field.
As the officials stop play here.
We need the time from the official.
And looks like they've got it working, so they're looking for the official time from the field.
So they got to radio down to the crew chief, make sure they get the official time from the official.
See if we can get us some other scores.
They say 3:56. And a quick shout out here to Jerry Collins running the scoreboard here on the IndianaSRN bottom line right there. He had the timing exactly right.
10-17 second quarter, Mount Vernon 28, New Pal 10.
Big Hoosier Heritage Conference matchup there. So the clock is finally working again. Little over the middle has his receiver, and that's Xavier Gibson, and a big 4th down play. And that's a 1st down for the Knights.
It's that short cross right in the middle. They love it. Just get right up in the seam and find that empty zone, that flat space, sit down, and he'll hit you. keep going for it. They love that in big situations.
Ball at the 47-yard line. Little fakes the handoff, intercepted again. And this time, picked off by Park Tudor. As it looked like it was Thompson there on the interception. And now another Traders Point player is down on the field. And able to get up okay there.
They tried to play again. You see, as he fakes the run, dips, and the receiver wasn't ready yet. So just basically threw it right to the defensive back.
Trying to find Gibson, and instead C.J. Thompson is there to pick it off as we have a late flag on the play. So it appears that the defense for Traders Point is out on the field now, so we'll see what the penalty yardage here is and on which team.
Makes you wonder if it's a face mask.
So the officials coming out here, we'll see what the call is. They're taking their time. Looks like it might have been a horse collar on Park Tudor, so that will back them up from this spot. The ball's at the 50-yard line. They'll probably walk the penalty yardage off here, I believe. No, they're going to keep it at the 50-yard line. So 1st and 10 at midfield here for the Panthers.
Linebackers coming.
Gordon fakes it, now dumps it off to the right side. And finally on the reception is Caleb Jones. The third time that Gordon has gone to him tonight, he finally connects with the senior wide receiver.
Great job by him coming back. You saw the pressure coming in as DJ Gordon went out to the right, came back, got the football, came across the field. Nice tackle, though, but it looks like somebody got dinged on it.
And another player is down. I think it's Nicholas Bartles, the lineman for Traders Point. He got up last time after being shaken up on the previous play on the interception, and he is now sitting back down again.
Another update, HSC 28, Fisher 7 at halftime.
Big Hoosier Crossroads Conference matchup right there. And, of course, I will neither confirm or deny that one Sean Kroll may have a rooting interest in that game. But
halftime, Westfield 28, Noblesville 7.
Hamilton Heights is up on Northwestern right now, 21-7.
Brings up 2nd down for the Panthers. Just inside the Traders Point territory.
As Bartles is helped off of the field. And play will resume here shortly.
Almost halftime, Brownsburg 21, Avon 10.
So Gordon back now in the gun. Gordon has some time, unloads to the left sideline. A little too long for his receiver there as he was looking for Carter Hall.
Brings up 3rd down for Park Tudor.
I don't know if he was expecting Hall to go up and get it because he threw it out of bounds, or if it just was one of those that got a little too much air under because the DB let it go as well. He had no shot. But hey, stretch him out and go deep on him. You still got 3rd down. You're in their territory. Just under 3 minutes to go.
3rd down and 9. Gordon runs to his right, has a receiver downfield, and has him, but gets tripped up inside of the 10-yard line. And on the reception there was Caleb Jones.
Boy, he had him wide open. If he could have let him a little bit more, it would have been 7, but still enough he caught it, and they're down 1st and goal.
41 yards on the pass and catch there to Caleb Jones.
Nice rollout, let him get down the field, hit him in kind of in stride.
So call it first down and goal here for Park Tudor. Whitehead up the middle into the end zone, standing up, and Park Tudor takes a 2-score lead. Touchdown, Panthers.
Boy, right up the gut, untouched. And it's a 2-touchdown lead for the Panthers.
Lots of offense in this first half. Has certainly not been without entertainment, including the scoreboard.
Their last 2 drives, both 4-play scoring drives.
So Lambert is on to tack on the extra point. He is 3 for 3 so far this evening. As the Panthers have to get all of their personnel in. And Lambert puts it through the uprights. And it's a 2-score lead for Park Tudor. Back in a minute here on IndianaSRN.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. His land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at ReynoldsFarmEquipment.com.
So it's 28-14 now. Traders Point in a 2-score deficit after they had been keeping pace with the Panthers. Now they've let Park Tudor kind of slip away a little bit.
They scored to tie it up at 14, and there was the big hook and lateral play. They come back, throw the interception. Park Tudor responds, scores again. You've only got 2:17. You have got to get points on the board to get a little bit of that momentum back here before halftime.
And so you saw Coach Carnes go right to Elias Underwood all 3 times on that previous drive before they ended up throwing the ball for an interception. How do you change things up now going in with 2 minutes to go?
I like to see him look for Sam Johnson. You know, maybe even try some play action, jet sweep, maybe a bubble screen, get trips to one side, try a little bubble screen, see if you can get some guys out there. Exploit the matchup of the linebacker on the slot receiver.
Ball is fielded by Tobias Grant. And he sheds a couple of tacklers before he is tackled. Ball is loose. And it is recovered by Park Tudor. Park Tudor comes up with the ball, and they say Park Tudor football.
Wow.
So just when things can't really get a whole lot worse for Traders Point here to end this half, they do.
That is the last thing you wanted right now.
As you take a look here at this big pass to Caleb Jones, setting up that subsequent touchdown. A big play there from DJ Gordon.
We've seen a couple of times the Traders Point DBs be able to get their heads turned around to see where the ball's coming at. That time didn't happen. Allowed the receiver, Jones, to adjust to the football and make the catch.
As you see the Caden Whitehead touchdown. Standing up, shedding a 1 tackler, and is true for 6 points.
Park Tudor's taking advantage of all their turnovers. Are they going to do it again?
In plus territory again. Gordon has time, looking to the end zone again. Has Perrine, touchdown Panthers!
Why not go for it on one play? You know, just take a shot, see what happens. Nice corner out there. Touchdown.
Charlie Perrine gets a touchdown grab. Caden Whitehead with 2 touchdowns on the night. DJ Gordon with a rushing touchdown. He now has 3 passing touchdowns on the night. And that is a new season high for him. And the extra point is blocked there by Traders Point. So they come away with something right there, as it's now a 20-point deficit.
Well, nothing like scoring 2 touchdowns in 18 seconds. That'll make you feel good, especially when you're watching film on Sunday.
Just take a look at that. He was just wide open as he beat Nick Dearman on the coverage. Of course, Nick Dearman right now is in for Philip Moran.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. And you look for that one-on-one coverage, and you see it in every level of football. When that starter goes out, let's see what the backup can do, and we're going to pick on him. They picked on him right there, and it been Traders Point.
So now if you're Traders Point, again, you have another big ding to your morale right there going into the second half, or at least these last 2 minutes. I mean, what do you tell your team if you're Coach Sam Carnes?
Well, I think if you're Sam Carnes right now, you're saying we get the ball to come out of the second half, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So we score here in 2 minutes, and we get the ball to start the second half. 14 points put us right back where we want to be. So now it's time to go execute.
Of course, you literally now, a minute 59 on the clock, it's 2-minute drill time.
Yes, it is. And, with the way their offense is, they do have some hurry up in it. I don't think that's going to be a stretch for them at all. I think it's been the defense. They've really got to start to handle the pressure better. That's one thing Park Tudor has done much better the second quarter, is putting pressure on Cooper Simmons Little and making him nervous and throwing balls he doesn't want to throw.
So Tobias Grant takes it again. He fumbled the ball the last time. He tries to hit a hole up the middle. Instead, he gets clobbered right at the 27-yard line.
I like the fact that Carnes put him back there again and said, all right, son, all right, we make mistakes. That's going to happen. Let's go get one back now.
So finally, Traders Point is able to get the offense back out there after spending definitely more time than what they would like to have had on the sideline.
You know what I would love to see right here? I'd love to see Traders Point go, oh, okay, now we're going to take a shot. Go deep. See what happens.
They've got Tobias Grant and Gibson spread to the near side. Of course, Grant subbing in now for Philip Moran. Instead, they go short to the left side, and that is going to be a catch and a good completion there to Xavier Gibson, a gain of 5.
I like to see him run that play again and get Grant to go slant more into the middle, see if Cooper Simmons Little can lead him, because that speed, he had the defender beat.
Clock is rolling, though, inside of 90 seconds to play here as they go to Elias Underwood this time. He keeps his legs moving, and it's picked up and stripped, and Park Tudor's going to take it for a touchdown.
Strip and score.
William Harris, the sophomore, with a literal strip and score.
Wow. We just thought he was trying to get extra yardage, and we were waiting for the whistle to blow for his momentum being stopped, but we see why it wasn't now.
And so things are just coming apart at the seams for Traders Point. This was a 21-14 game with about 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in this half. It has ballooned now to a 40-14 lead for Park Tudor as we take a look at the replay.
They're in there with the ball, and then next thing you know, boom, it just popped right out.
Yeah, Harris just comes right out of the scrum with the ball.
That is, William Harris.
Meanwhile, as we were looking at the replay, the extra point was blocked yet again by Traders Point. So they've had 2 PATs blocked here. So Park Tudor has left 2 points on the scoreboard here, but nonetheless, they have a very comfortable lead going into halftime.
What a turn of events.
I have never seen this many points scored in such a short period of time in my limited years of covering high school football.
And that's definitely got to be a deflator, because what do you say now if you're Coach Carnes?
I mean, what do you say? It's just, you're like, well, we just got to, I guess, reach into the Chuck Pagano mentality, just keep chopping wood, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, what else do you say?
You've got 6:59 left in the second quarter. You tie 14-14. Park Tudor scores. You throw an interception. Park Tudor scores. You fumble the kickoff. Park Tudor scores. You get the ball back. Strip and score. They're just all. Plain and simple. They're mistakes.
Plain and simple. So we have 71 seconds left in this second quarter, which definitely for Traders Point seems to have dragged on for a while.
But again, a good coach like Sam Carnes, teaching moments. He's going to use these to teach his team.
Tobias Grant breaks it loose, has to beat the kicker, and does not. But still, Tobias Grant giving some sort of big edge here to Traders Point. Gets it down to the 35-yard line.
Boy, they needed that in the worst way.
Taking a look at the replay on that here. As we wait for everybody to get lined up on offense and defense, he hit a hole pretty perfectly.
He did. Where did he catch it at?
It was bounced right to him.
About the 14.
And just a great read by Grant on that play.
It's about a 50-yard kickoff return.
Into plus territory here is Little. Looking over in the flat, and it just goes right through his receiver's hands. As that time, he was looking for Jack Shavy, the freshman.
He kind of lofted that one a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. You got to zip that one in there. Allow him to get some extra yardage after the catch. Empty set here now. Oh, nope.
Little has some pressure, dumps it off, and again lofts it short of his receiver, that time looking for Elias Underwood.
That is a great play call. A great play call. Simmons has got to learn to get it up and over the defensive line, just to put a little bit more onto it, and they had something going there.
Little this time has some time, looks to the sideline, and do they call it a catch? Yes, they do. Xavier Gibson goes out of bounds to stop the clock.
That was a pretty throw and catch by both guys on that one. He zipped it in there, got exactly where he needed it.
And that's certainly something uplifting to see if you're head coach Sam Carnes. You know, the adverse effects that you have been feeling over the last 2 minutes, and yet you're still able to execute plays like that.
Yes.
And a timeout is called on the field by Traders Point. Back in a minute here on Indiana SRN.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry out?
Everything that you need, we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
40-14 here in the first half of play here for Park Tudor and Traders Point. The Panthers have this one well in hand as we approach halftime.
Some other scores on this Morales Group scoreboard. Cathedral up 28-0 over Chittard at half. Covenant leading Washington 35-0 at half. We'll get some more scores here after this play.
Cooper, Simmons, Little. First down and 10 here for the Knights. Little looks along the sideline looking for Grant, and he was out of bounds as he got a little shove there from the defender.
Heritage Christian 28, Eastern Hancock 0 at halftime. Lafayette Jeff 27, Harrison 21 at half.
And here's an interesting one here for you, Sean. At the half, Mooresville beating Greenwood 56-0.
Ooh. Ouch. West Lafayette beating LCC 35-7 at half as well.
Little has to roll to his left and throws off balance out of play. And that'll stop the clock at 35 seconds. Third down and 10.
That was a pressure sack. I mean, that was a pressure play right there. The defensive line of Park Tudor is getting into Cooper Simmons Little's face and rattling him. Again, rolling out to your left and trying to throw with your right hand is not easy. He was forced to roll out there when he didn't want to. So
Traders Point definitely has been taking their time here, but they keep in completing a few passes as they do yet again, this time looking to the other side. That time he was looking for Kevin Bostic, and it goes 4th down now and 10 with 30 seconds left.
There seemed to be some confusion there between Cooper Simmons-Little and his receiver. I think he believed he was running a different route. The body language doctor is in. Body language doctor does not look good for Traders Point, but alas, halftime is coming.
Indeed it is, as they'll have a chance to kind of regroup here. Still, Traders Point opting to go for it here on 4th down and 10 at the Park Tudor 26-yard line.
Park Tudor's going to pin their ears back.
Dumps it off to Elias Underwood. He gets a first down to the 10-yard line. And of course, they'll stop the clock to move the chains here.
That was the way you run that screen. They ran it to perfection, almost stuck in the end zone, took a timeout. Now Park Tudor has that in their memory banks for the second half. It's something they have to plan for as they go forward.
So timeout called here by Traders Point to stop things up and kind of reset as there's 22 seconds left. And that's something that Coach Carnes is keeping in mind here. They're not, even though they're down by this many points right now, it's a 36-point deficit. The game's not over yet.
He's got to tell his troops, listen, if they can score in bunches like that, guess what? So can we. And so if we can get a score, again, if we can get a score here, and then come out after halftime and get a score, you're going to start to plant those seeds of doubt in Park Tudor. But you got to give credit. I want to give credit. Bryson Hobbs, Ty Lewis, and Bahram Mirza. They have been fantastic on the defensive line for Park Tudor.
Pardon my math, it's a 26-point deficit. There's a reason why I was a communications major in college. 22 seconds left here. Dumping it off to the receiver there was Little. Couldn't quite get a read on the number, and that's going to be Xavier Gibson. And now another timeout taken by Traders Point, as it is their third and final timeout of this half.
Both the receivers ran crossing routes into the inside. The outside receiver had position, but Simmons-Little went to the inside guy. He might have been able to get to the end zone with the outside receiver, but you take the completed pass, you had the timeout in your pocket.
So if this result, as it stands right now, were to hold true for the remainder of the game, Park Tudor would have evened the series between these two squads. Traders Point leads the overall series 2-1. This is only the 4th time that they have ever played each other, and that's certainly understandable, seeing as how Traders Point, they were only granted IHSAA affiliation back in 2014, and they played their first sectional eligible game in season in 2018.
Yeah, you see a lot more schools now joining the IHSAA. Schools like private schools like Traders Point and so on and so forth. They're adding to the numbers, and that can only help the high school game grow in the state. You got to love to see it.
Clock is stopped at 17 seconds. Simmons-Little tucks it, looks to the end zone. Has he got the receiver? Not quite. They're going to say that it touched down, touched the ground. But Bostic certainly was trying to plead his case right there that he made the catch. Instead, it'll be 3rd down and goal.
Those are moments now that Coach Carnes and both Coach Carnes are going to teach CSL, is that he short-armed it just a little bit. Sometimes you want to try and place it, throw it. Don't place it. Hit your receiver. Touchdown.
9 yards to the end zone here for Little. Little looks to the end zone, lobs it. Does he have his receiver? No, he does not. He had 2 options right there, both Grant and Gibson, and neither of them are able to come down with it. So it'll be 4th down and 9 yards to the end zone, 4th down and goal. And we could see what might be the last play of the half right here.
I'm surprised Park Tudor's not taking a timeout. Their defense has been on the field so long, and with the short drives by the offense, they got to be gassed by now.
So Little is taking his time in getting the play call from the sideline. Little looks to the end zone, and it's nearly intercepted. Instead, it's going to be caught by Elias Underwood, but he is kept just shy of the goal line. So that is a turnover. It's going to be incomplete. So it looked like he may have caught the ball right there. Either way, it's going to be a turnover on downs, and Park Tudor will likely take a knee here and take this thing to halftime.
Great scouting. They assumed that Traders Point was going to use that little middle crossing route from the inside receiver, and sure enough, that's what they did. They had it defended perfectly. Great job by the defensive staff of Park Tudor.
So Park Tudor going to mosey on out here, likely in the victory formation to take this thing to halftime as Park Tudor gets a 3-score swing in their favor over the last 3.5 minutes. And this time they're going to run the ball here with Gordon, as that will run the clock out. And we go to halftime. 40-14 is the score going into the half. And Sean Grohl, that, like we said earlier, that was certainly a demoralizing turn of events there for Traders Point to end the half.
It's unbelievable that both teams have had 9 offensive possessions in a half. You'll see a lot of high school football games where they'll get that in an entire game, and we've had that for both schools in just this first half. That goes to show you everything that's happened. We've had strip and scores, long kickoff returns. We've had hooks and laterals. I mean, the first half's had it all. We still have a second half to play.
So there's still another half of football to play here. It's like, and that just goes to show you, though, that even though Traders Point has only put the ball in the end zone twice, they've still been able to be efficient with how they move the ball down the field.
They have. It's the small things, and I think that's one thing Coach Carnes is going to really focus on. Guys, it's the small mistakes we're making that are snowballing into bigger things. We cut those out, we can stop them from scoring, and then it's time for us to get big plays.
Indeed it will be. So it's a 40-14 halftime score as we send it to halftime, and we are ready to go. So we'll go ahead and take it to halftime, a timeout, and we'll have a few other things to talk about once we get out of the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching IHSAA High School Football here on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
High school football fans, welcome back to Friday night, to pure spirits, to pure sports. Welcome back to high school football.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back!
This is Friday night. This is Indiana high school football. This is your IHSAA.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you can be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger. It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
Hey, conductor, how about something new? You played this last year.
Come on, get your head out of your sacks.
Shh, we're trying to hear. Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorites. Woo!
My kid heard that solo!
You say my kid?
Yeah!
Come on!
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Game day on Indiana SRN. And now here's a special message from Assistant Commissioner of the Indiana High School Athletic Association, Sandra Walter.
In cooperation with the Indiana High School Athletic Association, Indiana SRN would like to thank the men and women who officiate our sports contests. Congratulations to the following officials who've been selected as Official of the Year in their respective sport. This distinction is based on service to student athletes, coaches, and community over decades. These men and women have given countless hours to promoting and ensuring that education-based athletics are afforded to your student athlete. In cross country, Mr. Ted Knopfsinger. Soccer for 21-22, Mr. Lawrence Lohner. In volleyball in the north, Mr. Steve Klein. And in football in Lake County, Mr. Fred Schob. If you'd like to become an IHSAA official, please contact Sandra Walter at the IHSAA office. Phone number 317-846-6601. And a huge thank you to Mr. Keith Meyer and Indiana SRN for being such an advocate to our officials, our student athletes, and our administrators of 407 member schools across the state of Indiana. We certainly thank you for the support and the constant effort to promote all that is good about education-based athletics.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Traders Point Christian School is ready to launch a really exciting educational model in our high school that'll affect the school all the way down to our preschool. So we're going to initiate a program called Schools Within a School. Traders Point Christian Schools as a whole offers traditional academic courses to all of our students. Courses like science, English, math, and history. But our Schools Within Schools is going to offer a really unique opportunity to students who want to broaden their perspective, broaden their opportunities in high school. We're going to give students the opportunity to focus their education on things that they're passionate about, things that really motivate them, things that they think they might want to do as a career beyond high school. There's 4 different tracks. One track is the School of Applied Sciences, and that might be for the student who plans to go straight from high school to a career. And then there's the School of Fine Arts. That's that right-brained creative person. And then there's the School of Leadership, the student who wants to be an entrepreneur, a business leader. And then the School of Biomedical Sciences, that student who wants to go on to some field of medical practitioner. So they might want to be a nurse, a doctor, a dentist, or a variety of fields within biomedical sciences. So in my 30 years of Christian education, I've not seen an opportunity like this. It doesn't exist anywhere else in Indianapolis. So give your students this opportunity. Check us out. The time is now.
Well, students at Traders Point Christian Schools are taking a new robotics course thanks to IHSAA Technology Partners. It's actually part of a new multi-year student STEM program that integrates into Traders Point's Schools Within a School model.
Well, preschool through high school, 18 months to 18 years. I've been around for 40 plus years as a preschool early childhood center and developed over time. This is our 10th, 11th year as a high school. And we have just moved into our only high school building we've ever had 3 years ago. Part of that is launching 4 schools within a school. The School of Biomedicine, the School of Leadership, the School of Fine Arts, and the School of Applied Sciences, which is where this partnership comes into play. The School of Applied Sciences is our way of providing our students with project-based learning, real life examples of things that they can do in the workforce to prepare themselves for the next step.
Yep. Roger, from IHSAA Technology Partners standpoint, talk about how this partnership really came together.
Yeah, it really came together at the Indy 500 last year. We invited Ryan and a couple of his colleagues out for the race, and we got talking about what they were doing with the school. So Ryan was telling us what he was doing, and I was really interested in it because, you know, my entire career I've focused on helping kids and, you know, helping people achieve the dreams that they want, you know, through their career. And I thought this was a good way for us to get involved and help kids, be able to go down a technology path and not have to leave Indianapolis. We're really focused on training our employees and giving them the skills they need to be successful. So we want to do the same thing with these kids. We want to bring them in, give them a path. They can either take a Microsoft Cloud certification path or a Cisco engineering certification path. And, that year that they're with us, they will get certified in that path, and they'll have job-ready skills from that. They could go to work immediately.
Yeah. So Ryan, this is, and we look at from the student perspective, these are really hands-on experiences. I know internships are part of this as well. So whether they want to go on to college, go straight into the workforce, or some combination, these students will have that ability.
I think what's attractive to us is that this is a rare opportunity for them. Oftentimes in schools, they're aligned with universities and higher education, which is great, and we are too. But the opportunity to work with someone in the workforce in our community that's doing innovative things, and then to align our missions as well, to where we can focus on soft skills like character development and communication and creative thinking, problem solving. So it's just a win-win for us, and we jumped at the chance.
The thing that I love about Traders Point is that they make learning fun, and my kids love going to school here.
Children know that they're loved and that they're safe, and this is a good, healthy place for them to be, and they can learn in a safe environment.
Everybody cares about your feelings and how you want to be treated, and God is always with you no matter what is happening in your life.
We got our kids started at age 2, and they've been there all the way through. Our oldest is now 20, so we've seen it through every step of the way and loved it.
Our lower school program here at Traders Point Christian Schools really has 4 distinctives. The Christian worldview, we have STEM as an initiative, and we also have outdoor and environmental education. Perhaps most importantly, at Traders Point, your children are part of the family. Not only are they excited and engaged about their learning, but every day they are loved, they are taught well, they are nurtured in Christ, and I can't think of a better gift that a parent could give a child.
We love that our kids will have that environment here and that it's safe and loving, and the teachers are welcoming them with open arms and a smile on their face.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
It is halftime here at Park Tudor School here on the north side of Indianapolis. And it's certainly been a good game, but there are definitely other good games that we can take a look at here around central Indiana and some of the rest of the state. Here it's Friday Night Lights here for week number 4 of IHSAA football. Of course, the big game that everyone might be paying attention to outside of this one, of course, is the big mid-conference matchup between Center Grove, number 1 in the state, number 10 in the nation. They are currently on top of Ben Davis, only 17-14 at halftime after Ben Davis had been leading them 14-10. The Trojans able to get a touchdown to go into halftime in that one. Other scores around central Indiana. Tipton is beating Cass right now 35-0. Heritage Christian is on top of Eastern Hancock 28-0, as well as Lutheran. They are on top of LaPel 21-13. Cathedral is leading Chittard at halftime 28-0.
Quick update. 28-7. Chittard scored.
Chittard did score, so there you go. Thank you very much, Sean Kroll. Roncalli's on top of Columbus North 38-6. Westfield and Noblesville in Hoosier Crossroads Conference matchups right there. 28-7 is the score in that contest. Tri-West is taking on Webo right now. Tri-West has a lead over the Stars 14-3. Kokomo is on top of McCutcheon 29-0. Cascade is leading South Decatur 30-14. Mitchell on top of Eastern Green 42-6. Another Hoosier Crossroads Crossroads Conference matchup between Brownsburg and Avon. The rivalry, Brownsburg is on top of the Avon Orioles 28-10.
Another score, 35-10, Mount Vernon up on New Pal at halftime. But here, 40-14, and in a quick span, looking at my notes from the 2:17 point in the second quarter, 2:17 in just a minute and 6 seconds, Park Tudor scored 3 touchdowns. A 10-yard run by Caden Whitehead, the 27-yard pass from Gordon to Pirine, and then the strip and score. And just like that, 40-14, we'll see what Traders Point has coming out of halftime.
Quick edit to the last score I just read between Brownsburg and Avon. A 3-point field goal there for Brownsburg now makes it a 31-10 advantage for Brownsburg. We'll take another quick timeout. The second half is coming at you in just a little bit here on IndianaSRN.
From your first step onto campus, you'll start to see what makes Park Tudor special. More than a school, we're a close-knit community of students, parents, and educators working together to take each other farther than any of us could go alone. A place where teachers share their love of learning with students of all ages, encouraging them to develop their interests and discover the world around them. And while small class sizes give us the chance to explore big ideas, we also know there are important lessons to be learned outside of the classroom, on the field, in the community, and across the globe. At Park Tudor, we're dedicated to helping every student make the most of today while preparing them for tomorrow. Here, curiosity is nurtured, talents are celebrated, and differences are embraced. Because we believe that the key to lifelong success lies not only in the strength of our curriculum, but in each student's strength of character. So join us in taking that first step, and you'll see it leads to a path of endless possibilities. Park Tudor, exceptional educators, extraordinary opportunities.
My approach to teaching history tends to be a student-led experience that tends to focus on critical thinking, creativity, and hopefully fun. What I like about teaching at Park Tudor is how well I get to know my students. The smaller class sizes allows me to not only know them personally, but also to create individual lessons that challenge them and that are specifically designed to help them understand the material. The Park Tudor student is very unique. They tend to be highly motivated, very creative, and engaged. I've been very impressed with their willingness to take risk both in and out of the classroom. I like the middle school student because they don't know who they are yet. And by being a teacher, you can allow them to try and wear different hats and to figure out what they like and what their interests are. And you, as a teacher, are able to guide them and help them discover these things. Outside of the classroom, I can be found traveling with my wife, reading, restoring my VW bus, attempting to surf the Great Lakes or any other body of water near me, helping adaptive athletes run marathons, or trying to talk somebody into a next crazy adventure with me.
I like sports at Park Tudor because everybody gets to play. And because everybody gets to play, it's a lot more fun and the teams are bigger.
There's so many opportunities for you, and you don't have to just stick with one passion of yours. You can explore so many different things.
The teachers really care about us, not just as students, but as people. And I feel that I can go to any one of them when I'm in a time of struggle and they'll help me.
I love lunch. I think our food is just the best. And I particularly like the ice cream bar. That's a great way to end every lunch with just a cone of chocolate ice cream.
The amount of college preparedness is just amazing at Park Tudor. I have a bunch of friends who go to different schools, And it's just that at Park Tudor, like, we are so well prepared.
At Park Tudor, the computer science program is really good. I think one of the really nice things is the depth that you're able to go in computer science at Park Tudor in high school, which is very different from a lot of other places.
I also really appreciate the time that teachers put in to work with you. They are incredibly patient.
There are also great community service opportunities. I am involved in Best Buddies Club here at school.
The tennis team overall is a great experience, and we have a great history of winning, and there's no other program like it.
Our art department is great. We have opportunities in graphic design, photography, and fine arts.
It's about 2 minutes away from the third quarter of this big matchup between Park Tudor and Traders Point Christian here on the north side of Indianapolis. Alongside Sean Kroll, I'm Kurt Darling. Well, Sean, we were talking off air just now and about how Traders Point was in the locker room for kind of a long time. Now, granted, they probably had a lot to talk about after what they gave up there late in that second quarter.
Yes, they did, and I think that's one of the things that Coach Carnes wants to emphasize is you have to do the small things right in this game if you want to win. And it really wasn't, I mean, people will look and they'll say big plays, strip and score, hook and lateral, fumble kickoff. But it's the small plays of not hanging on to the football like you should on the kickoff or on the run or a penalty here or staring down your receiver there, short-arming the football. Those little things cause bigger plays to happen and negativity. And I think if you shore up the little things, that will help them. And I think in the second half, I think Traders Point is going to concentrate on, okay, we're going to consider it 0-0. What can we do to win the second half? That'll give us momentum going into next week.
Down 26 points right here, though. And you have a whole second half to do it. Now, keep in mind, Park Tudor was able to put up 21 points in a matter of minutes late in that second half, or later in that second quarter, rather. Now, I mean, is it within the realm of possibility that Traders Point is able to do the same thing?
Oh, it's 100% and a probability, because with the offense they run, they can put up points big. The issue is you got to have those plays go for you on the opposite side. You've got to make things happen on the defensive end to cause a turnover, or you've got to get that pass to make a big play, break a tackle and break off a long run for a short field and allow you a quick score. Those are the things that you have to do. It doesn't take much to get momentum going the other direction. They just need to do it.
Traders Point has a long way to go to try and get their 37th win in program history. Meanwhile, Park Tudor, they're sitting pretty right now, looking for their 88th win in program history. Tobias Grant will take the opening kickoff of the second half, does exactly what he did last time, sheds some tacklers, gets across midfield, and he is going to take it to the house. Touchdown, Traders Point! A 95-yard kick return for a touchdown by Tobias Grant gets things moving here for the Knights.
Did we talk about big plays there just a second ago?
I think you did.
I think that's a nice way to get momentum going in your direction. One play, 17 seconds off the clock, you score.
Tobias Grant shed probably about 3 or 4 tacklers there at midfield to bust that one wide open. And just like that, Coach Carnes' squad saying, we're not done yet.
No, and they'd had some good kickoff returns. They've had one. They had a 50-yard one. They've had some opportunities to really break one off. They finally got one. Now they're going for 2.
So 2-point conversion attempt here by Cooper Simmons-Little. And the offense of Traders Point, they're going to give it to Elias Underwood right up the gut. But he is unable to punch it in for 2 points. So it remains a 20-point deficit. A quick break here. Back in a minute here on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that fuels your passion for sports and physical activity. IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences offers that and more. You'll have insider access to sports, fitness, and exercise science professionals and learn from faculty with years of industry experience. And with Indy as your classroom, you'll study next to world-class sports facilities, Olympic governing bodies, the NCAA, and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sports industry career. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
So the Knights cut it back to a 20-point deficit off of a 90-yard kick return for a touchdown down by Tobias Grant. And Sean Kroll, I just made mention of this as we were talking off there. So let's kind of recap here. We have had a strip and score. We've had a hook and ladder for a touchdown. We have had 2 interceptions. We have had a kickoff return for a touchdown. We have had a kicker make a tackle. What haven't we had in this football game?
An onside kick recovered by the kicking team.
Which they do not attempt
they
here.
don't attempt. Darn it.
Instead, it'll be fielded by C.J. Thompson, as he usually does at the 20-yard line. He'll try to return it for a touchdown of his own. Instead, he gets tackled at about the 33-yard line. Let's take a look at this kick return for a touchdown here by Tobias Grant. So call it a 91-yard touchdown return officially here by Tobias Grant.
Got the gap, broke that tackle right there was the big play. And this time he cut back to the left, which I think helped him, unlike the previous one we got caught still taking the same route down the right sideline.
Quick shout out to our cameraman for excellent camera work right there. That was excellent and beautifully captured there on that play. DJ Gordon tries to respond here for the Panthers. Has a receiver going outside. That's going to be C.J. Thompson, and he takes it the full length of the field. Touchdown, Panthers.
Well,
I mean, what do you say here, Sean Kroll? Just quick touchdowns. We have now had 2 touchdowns scored, one by either team, in the first 39 seconds of this second half.
Yeah, we've had 2 touchdowns in 22 seconds. Scoring quickly apparently is on the menu for tonight, and I'm here for it. I really am.
So Lambert will put the PAT up. He had 2 PATs blocked late in that second quarter, and he puts that through the uprights. We'll keep it here on IndianaSRN. We're taking too many breaks for too many scores. We got to take a look at this here as we take a look at C.J. Thompson taking this one to the house.
The coverage kind of got soft there. Just one little move to the right, found the seam and just blew right by him. Bad angles there by the DBs, and once he got by him, you weren't going to catch him, but for sure. So now on the defensive end, they've got to think, well, they take C.J. Thompson out in the flat there. We got to be tighter on him to not let him have any running room because it was done.
Call that a 67-yard catch to the outside for C.J. Thompson.
You're going to need 2 segments on Lovell tonight to get all this in.
I'm going to need something. Either way, it's certainly going to be a challenge getting all of the fireworks in that we've seen in this game here tonight. It's certainly been entertaining, regardless of the deficit of the, and that's the crazy thing about this game here, Sean Kroll, is the fact Park Tudor has such a commanding lead right now, yet we have all been thoroughly entertained.
Well, immensely entertained, and again, there's still basically an entire half yet to play.
So it's a 27-point deficit again for Traders Point. And once again, they kick it to Tobias Grant. And Grant will try to take it up the middle. Instead, they are very ready for him this time. As you see the backup quarterback, Willie Sanders, in on the tackle there.
Willie.
Of course, Willie Sanders had that fumble earlier on in the first half. Certainly redeeming himself right there with a key special teams tackle.
So what's the over-under on number of plays for Traders Point to score here? 4?
Betting on high school sports is illegal, Sean Kroll.
Oh, no, just in the general sense. I'm not Vegas. I was just setting the line right there.
Little fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, has some running room to the outside, and here goes Cooper Simmons Little. Out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
As I was saying.
Just big play after big play after big play.
Wow. I think the correct term for this is
we have a flag on the play.
It's a track meet.
It's certainly turning into that just a little bit, as we have a flag on the near side of the field.
Sideline warning.
It's going to be a sideline warning. So it's a sideline warning on Park Tudor. So again, no penalty yardage accrued here. Actually, there are.
Yeah, because it's the second one.
It's the second. That's right. You are correct, Sean Kroll. It is a second one, so that is a 5-yard penalty on Park Tudor. So that pushes the ball an extra 5 yards on top of the 50 yards that Cooper Simmons Little scampered to get now into plus territory.
1-on-1 down here on the right side.
Little hands the ball off to Underwood, and he gets tackled by the upper part of his jersey. He hangs on to the ball, and he'll be tackled out of bounds, tackled down there, but they're going to give him forward progress to just the right side of the 25-yard line.
Such a fine line between grabbing and getting a tackle and getting a horse collar penalty. That's why you don't want your defenders to reach up in that neck, shoulder area, because it's hard to tell what they're going to call and what they're not going to call.
So finally the clock is winding as Little looks to the right side of the end zone, and he is going to be picked off. That goes right into the breadbasket of Jonathan Harris.
Like right at the goal line.
That is his second interception on the night. And now Simmons Little's 8th on the season.
What haven't we seen? A safety.
Well, better late than never.
We need like a bingo card up here.
We need something, absolutely. So the ball is at the 2-yard line. That's the only disadvantage of getting that interception. You prevent the score, but now you have to push it out of deep of your own territory. So Gordon in his own end zone. Hands the ball off to Whitehead. He has some running room and gives a little bit of breathing room for the Panthers out to the 10.
Whitehead on the carry.
That's give me some space here outside of the goal line run. And then a flag from this line judge over here.
The near line judge has certainly been a busy man tonight.
Not sure what that flag's on. Park Tudor has no sideline issues, and they were both in their huddle.
So the officials conversing here, and it looks like it's going to be a delay of game, or it's another sideline warning.
Wow.
On Park Tudor. So that will back them up half the distance to the goal, because that's a 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and the coach is asking the referee what's going on.
Maybe a few words being exchanged down on the sideline. We can only speculate. Play resuming here with exactly 10 minutes left to go in this third quarter. And the officials still holding up play here as a few things have to be sorted out on the field. The officials writing a few things down here as they get things sorted out, and now the clock runs. The pitch is to Whitehead in the end zone. He gets it out of the end zone. He cuts back to the other side, Caden Whitehead, flag on the play now on the near side of the field. This one may be coming back, but still Caden Whitehead goes all the way to the end zone. But there is a flag all the way back here at the 28-yard line, and it looks like it might be on Park Tudor.
Wide receiver Caleb Jones has had some issues before. I think that's what it was on this one. A 95-yard touchdown, and boy, Whitehead is going to be upset about that one.
So Caleb Jones getting a talking to there from Coach Somerville, and it's a holding call officially on Caleb Jones. So that is a 95-yard costly penalty right there. So instead, that's going to be a holding call from the spot of the foul, I believe.
What makes it worse is when they're going to watch the film is Whitehead is on the other side of the field. Completely unnecessary penalty, and that's what makes you pull your hair out as a coach.
So it's going to be a 10-yard holding penalty. It's still a first down for Park Tudor, so they at least get that out of it.
A first down on a penalty against yourself. Now, something else we haven't seen that's new, you know?
Definitely a game of unusual events all happening at once.
Correct.
So they put the ball at the 18-yard line. Gordon gets it out to Jones now, and Jones may try to be able to redeem himself there, and he certainly does a good effort of it as he gets 9 yards.
Pass complete to Caleb Jones.
And that will keep the clock moving here, which has certainly been a rarity in this quarter so far with how many plays that they have gone for scores or going out of bounds. The clock hasn't really had a whole lot of opportunity to actually wind down a little bit.
Yeah, there's still 9 minutes to go here in the third quarter. The crazy thing is, if they were to score, it would be 54-20, which is 34 points. Running clock doesn't start to 35 points.
Handoff is to Whitehead, has a middle right up the gut. This time, all the way to the house, and that is actually going to be Jonathan Harris on the rushing call. Touchdown, Panthers.
I see your 95-yard return, you run for a touchdown called back. I'll just score from, 72, 74, excuse me.
Either way, another big scoring play there by Jonathan Harris. He has 2 interceptions and now a touchdown to his credit. Huge play there. But once again there, Sean, as you observed, that's only a 33-point deficit. And this extra point, if made by Lambert, and it is, now makes it a 34-point deficit. Back in a minute on Indiana SRN.
You want a career that fuels your passion for sports and physical activity. IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences offers that and more. You'll have insider access to sports, fitness, and exercise science professionals and learn from faculty with years of industry experience. And with Indy as your classroom, you'll study next to world-class sports facilities, Olympic governing bodies, the NCAA, and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sports industry career. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
So we've had about 3.5 minutes taken off the clock here in this third quarter because now we've had 3 touchdowns in that span of 3.5 minutes. So that's literally almost averaging a touchdown a minute here in this third quarter between the two teams.
I was having so much fun. I was grooving to Miley Cyrus there because it's a party in the Park Tudor Stadium, not the USA. It's been amazing what's been going on.
This time it's going to be Xavier Gibson who takes the kickoff return, and he gets rattled down at about the 20-yard line. Let's take a look at this replay here for Jonathan Harris coming from the split backs.
The linebacker blitz makes a difference because once you get past that first wave, he doesn't have very many people, and boy, missed tackle there by the safety coming down, and it was all green fake grass after that.
So Jonathan Harris going 74 yards to the house. And a quick score update here. Brebeuf has beaten Garrett 42-14, so a big win there for the Braves.
Rivalry game, 42-13 with a minute and a half to go. Fishers is losing to Hamilton Southeastern.
Little, quick pass off to Gibson, and it's picked off after it got tipped from Gibson.
Oh my goodness.
What a play! And wouldn't you know it, it is the backup quarterback, starting strong safety in Willie Sanders. That's the second turnover he's forced tonight.
Second play in a row, an interception, a quick hit, right off of through his hands, off his shoulder pads, and it's an interception.
And you can't fault Cooper Simmons Little.
Not at all. Not at all.
As was right on target, and Gibson's just unable to handle the ball. So 3 interceptions tonight now officially for Cooper Simmons Little, as once again Park Tudor is set up in excellent field position to try and extend their lead. And there is the catch there to Perrine. He stays standing up into the end zone. Touchdown Panthers. That will put it now at 60 points scored by Park Tudor. 4 touchdowns in the first 3 minutes and 55 seconds of this third quarter. 3 of them by Park Tudor.
And 2 and 21 seconds for Park Tudor. If you would have told me we'd see a 60 burger tonight from one of these two teams, I would have laughed at you. I would have never dreamt it. But again, what's the old saying? That's why they play the games.
But of course, now as you see there, Sean Kroll, the clock is now running, which means we now have a running clock for the remainder of this contest. Back in a minute on IndianaSRN.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN on Twitter for all the scores, game day updates, and information on when you can catch the next game going on IndianaSRN.org. Follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Sean Kroll, Kurt Darling here with you here at Park Tudor High School, or Park Tudor School rather, and it is a 40-point deficit now for Traders Point. As I mentioned earlier, Sean, we now have a running clock whenever a timeout or official timeout is not called.
You know, I think this is one of the better things that the IHSAA has pushed through in the last couple of years, you know, for safety, because you know when you're down 40 points in the second half like this, it's really hard. I mean, these are kids, and it's a mental game. And, you know, when you let your guard down for a second, bad things can happen. I think it's a really smart move, and, you know, you hate to see it, but I think it's a good move by the coaches in the IHSAA to have this rule implemented.
Kickoff goes out of bounds there from Lambert, so that will put the ball back up to the 40-yard line for Traders Point. Let's take a look here at so it's 60-20 as we mentioned. We actually neglected to mention before the break that it was actually a blocked PAT. That's the third time that Traders Point has actually blocked a point after touchdown here as we take a look at the touchdown.
What great shifty moves by Perrine. You know, I think of the NFL players and they pronounce it Perrine, Samaje Perrine. That's what I want to say so bad, but I have to stop myself from doing it. But yeah, great moves there, planting and shifting and getting in the end zone. He smelled it. He got there.
Charlie Perrine did not have a touchdown at all coming into this contest. He now has 2 tonight.
It's like Oprah Winfrey's out here. You get a touchdown, and you get a touchdown, and everybody gets a touchdown.
Elias Underwood is going to be gobbled up there after gaining a couple yards out to the 4.
4-yard pickup. 2nd and 6.
So the clock continues to run here at Park Tudor School. As Traders Point try to do something to try and make this deficit not as bad as it looks on the scoreboard. This time the handoff looks like it was Moran back into the ball game.
Ryan Bell on the carry.
I mean, this goes to show you a couple things, Kurt. You know, any given Friday night, anything can happen. It shows you how talented Park Tudor can be. But you look, I mean, just 2 games ago, Traders Point took the defending 1A state champion, Covenant Christian, 26-22. They lost by in a close game at Covenant Christian. It's a different story every week, different chapter, different verse, however you want to call it. And things can just happen. This does not mean by any stretch of the imagination Traders Point's a bad team. It's just been that kind of night for Park Tudor.
It really has. As now, certainly it's been a injury-filled night for Traders Point, as Tobias Grant is able to get up off the field. He had a cramp. But now you see the freshman Ryan Cowell, who was actually the runner on the call there. He was the one that took the handoff, and now he is unable to get off of the field under his own power. He is being helped off the field, favoring his right leg.
He was an important backup linebacker as well for the squad.
So he's definitely going to be missed there in the defensive backfield for Traders Point. We play on as they now restart the clock. Jet sweep this time to Underwood, and he is met in the backfield.
And I think we're seeing basically from the Carnes brothers, they just ran it 3 times. It's 4th down. Will they pass it here? Who knows? But the clock's going to run anyway, so let's work on some things, see what we can shore up, see what kind of plays can work for us and the personnel we have.
It definitely is a next man up mentality, but that does take on a whole new meaning when you only have 40 players on your roster.
Yeah.
If that. Back to pass this time is Little. Looking for Grant. And Grant gets shoved out of play as that's a turnover on downs. And so that will put the ball again with Park Tudor at the 38-yard line on the Traders Point side of the football field.
I fully expect just to see some subs and some running the football here from Park Tudor the rest of the way.
So Traders Point won this meeting a year ago by a score of 55-14. So, needless to say, or no, rather it was a 55-14 win for Park Tudor last year. So Park Tudor kind of keeping with the mantra of just dominate and keep going on as they did last year. And as you see, Willie Sanders is back in at quarterback for Park Tudor, and he hands the ball off to his running back.
William Harris on the carry.
And that time it's William Harris, who regularly plays inside linebacker. He's the backup to Caden Whitehead.
7-yard gain on the play.
They get these young kids some plays here and see what they can do. Allow them to make a name for themselves.
So it's very likely that DJ Gordon's night is done, as he has turned in one heck of a performance on an ankle that is not very 100%, as Willie Sanders has the keeper down inside the 20-yard line.
Penalty marker on the field.
And there's a penalty marker down from the officials.
And again, with the way as the season goes, this is not only a chance for your backups to get some playing time, it allows them to be able to get some snaps on the field should an injury happen. And they've had that breakthrough of, okay, the nervousness is over. I've been out. I've made some plays. I made a mistake here. I held. Okay, now can we trust you from this point forward if we need you to step up?
Quick score update here. Cathedral's leading Chittard 38-7. Right now with 5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. So, and then Covenant Christian is dominating Indianapolis Washington right now, 56-0.
Do we need to have the 5A playoffs?
Yes.
Okay.
At least as far as the IHSAA is concerned.
Yeah, I know.
There's William Harris staying on his feet, shedding the tackle, getting back to the 20-yard line where the ball would have been had it not been for the holding call.
Is anybody going to beat Cathedral?
No.
Okay.
Just as simple as that.
Yeah. They're really, really good.
Cathedral definitely jumping down to 5A for the last 2 years now. They were in 5A, won the 5A state championship last year. And this will be their last year in 5A before the next recycling is done by the IHSAA, in which you could see Cathedral bumped back up to the 6A class.
I think 3A and 4A might be the best tournaments we have, because those schools at the top are loaded.
Of course, you have Bishop Chittard winning the 4A state championship a year ago.
3A.
The 3A state championship a year ago, so you'll probably see them jump up possibly.
Roncalli won 4A. They're pretty good this year, too. I mean, they can bump up to 5A. We can see a lot of schools do that.
And then Covenant Christian winning the 1A state championship last year, a heck of a team that they have built there over the last 2 years. And we talked about DJ Gordon earlier. An interesting story behind him. This is a Park Tudor squad that is actually very heavily involved in many different activities off of the field, as you see Harris on the call, powering forward for a gain of a couple yards. But there are many organizations that these players are involved in, from mentoring young kids off of the field. Many of them are involved in the high school theater.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Particularly DJ Gordon. He actually has a possible career aspirations of being an actor. And so he is very heavily involved in the theater program here at Park Tudor.
Love that. I love that. That's fantastic.
Of course, and talking to Coach Somerville, we'll continue the story here at the other end of this timeout, but lots more stories to talk about here for both teams as we go to quarter number 4. It is a 40-point deficit. Park Tudor has the lead. Back in a minute here on SRN.
I'm Keith Myers, Vice President of SRN. Thanks for joining us. You know SRN broadcasts 350 games a year, all sorts of sports. Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? SRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@IndianaSRN.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's SRN.
Heading into the fourth quarter, it's certainly a sweet Caroline night for Park Tudor, as they have a 40-point advantage going into quarter number 4 here on SRN. With Sean Krull, I'm Kurt Darling. Well, Sean, going to 12 minutes left to play. You have a running clock. I mean, what do you expect now? I mean, we've had literally every possible thing happen in this football game.
Yeah, I expect to see a lot of backups and running plays. As a quick score update, Ben Davis is only down 3 to Center Grove, 24-21, and they're not even in the fourth quarter yet.
Big mid-conference matchup that everybody has definitely been keeping an eye on, of course, Center Grove, the number 1 team in the state by far, but they are the number 10 team according to the AP High School Top 25.
Are you ready for this?
Hit me.
There is a running clock in the New Pal football game. But they're the one down by 35.
New Pal's the one that's been running clocked as Mount Vernon is pummeling the Dragons here tonight.
Don't get that very often.
So a flag on the play here to start the fourth quarter as Traders Point is on defense here. A delay of game call here on Park Tudor. Willie Sanders, at least now, looks like Carson Ritz is in taking the snaps at quarterback here for Park Tudor.
Give another kid a shot.
So Kason Ritz had his first catch of the night, which set up a big touchdown play. That was a very long touchdown pass grab there for about 30 or 40 yards from DJ Gordon, which set up a subsequent touchdown earlier in this ball game.
And now we're going to have a field goal try.
So Lambert is on the field now for his second field goal attempt of the night. His season long on the year is 31 yards. Snap is down, and it's blocked at the line of scrimmage. So if there is one thing that Traders Point has been able to do right tonight, it's actually block kicks of Lambert's.
Yeah, I mean, in that case, you're going to have to kick it so low to get that distance that it's hard not to get it blocked, but give him a shot at a 44-yarder, see what happens.
So he's 0 for 2 tonight now on field goals. Of course, the previous one he tried was 51 yards.
Yeah.
Which he definitely had a little bit of leg on, but just not quite enough.
These were not easy field goals by any stretch of the imagination. Hey, don't forget, Heartland Conference football is coming on IndianaSRN, Saturday game of the week. HCAC football, excited for that. It's going to be a fantastic time. Got some great schools that we're going to visit. See some Division III college football.
Of course, it's good to have the Division III college football here on IndianaSRN as Cooper Simmons Little has it out to Gibson. And Gibson's going to go all the way down the sideline into the end zone for a touchdown.
All right. How about an 89-yard touchdown pass? 79, sorry.
So that's going to be the third touchdown pass of the night for Cooper Simmons Little to go along with his 3 interceptions.
Again, I think what we say is track meet. It's unbelievable. Basketball on grass.
Something like that.
Yeah.
As it's definite, this could be a basketball score, depending on which teams you're covering.
We've had some games that have been like that, have been the score.
So now going for 2 here, and there's a bobbled snap by Cooper Simmons Little. He picks it up, and he's just going to give up and blow the play dead right there. We'll take a timeout. Back in a minute here on IndianaSRN. Park Tudor able to claw their way back to a 34-point deficit. And for those of you who may be wondering, the running clock is still in effect. The rule from the IHSAA is that once the 35-point deficit is reached at any point in the ball game, the 35-point running clock will continue for the remainder of this contest. Alongside Sean Kroll, I am Kurt Darling, And, Sean, we were talking earlier about the off-campus involvement for these players for Park Tudor. I mentioned, of course, DJ Gordon. He has aspirations of being an actor. He's heavily involved in the school theater here at Park Tudor. In fact, he really wants to get even more involved later on, which is something that Coach Spencer Somerville actually encourages for his players. In fact, he actually says football is number 3 on the list behind school, extracurricular activities such as theater or Habitat for Humanity, which Aaron Roach is involved with, and then football after that.
That's a great outlook for these kids to get them to understand. While we love sports, they are not our lives. You need to be a well-rounded young man. And if you're playing girls soccer or cheerleading or whatever, a well-rounded young woman, that's what matters most.
And keeping on that as well, I mentioned Aaron Roach as we take a look at the replay of this this big catch for a touchdown here for Xavier Gibson.
They've got playmakers. They do. Gibson, Johnson, Grant. They've got guys that can get quick hits.
As he takes that one 80 yards to the house. But keeping on the note that we were talking about, Aaron Rose, the linebacker, whom you were very high on coming into this contest, he's actually a very accomplished photographer. He has a photograph, an award-winning photograph, on display at the Indianapolis International Airport right now.
Holy cow. That is very cool. I want to give a shout-out. Donovan Pitts plays for Park Tudor. His dad, Donovan Pitts, who played at the University of Texas back in the 80s. I work alongside him at Hamilton Southeastern. Wanted to give him a shout-out. So, Donovan, just make sure you watch the whole game to get to this point. I teased you for a long time, so hang on.
But then you gotta give some accolades to Traders Point as well. As I mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, this is still a very young school as a player is down on the field right now for Park Tudor. And it looks like that might be Xavier Gibson, who just got a little shaken up there. No, it was actually Kevin Bostic who's able to get up off of his own power. But talking about Traders Point, as I mentioned, it's still a very young school. They are only in their 8th season of organized football in any type of regulation whatsoever, whether it be among non-IHSAA affiliated schools within the state or within the IHSAA. They became officially an IHSAA member in 2014, but they weren't allowed to compete in sectionals or any postseasons until 2018. Nevertheless, that first season that they were eligible for the postseason, they went 10-2 and nearly won a sectional championship.
Yeah, they did. The rest of the way, they've got Frontier next week and Lapel, 2 home games in a row. At Edinburgh, at North Central Farmersburg, then home against Lutheran to close out the season.
And there's another carry.
We haven't finished the SRN polls.
Of course we haven't.
From the pregame.
Why don't you go ahead and fire away?
4A, Roncalli 1, Mooresville 2, East Central 3, Leo 4, Jasper 5. I got a feeling maybe Mount Vernon might sneak back up in there. 5A, Cathedral, Zionsville, Fort Wayne, Dwenger, Valpo, Mishawaka. And 6A, Center Grove. We need an update on that Center Grove Ben Davis game. Merrillville, Hamilton Southeastern, Westfield, and Homestead. There's your SRN top 5.
Another quick score update here for you from the MIC conference. Warren Central beats Lawrence Central 48-13. A handed win there for the Warriors.
Mike Kirchner, back at his alma mater.
Of course, coming from Mount Vernon, his former school, dominating New Pal tonight, as there's a long throw from Sanders that goes just out of reach. Another score update here for you from the Hoosier Heartland Conference. Greenfield Central, which has been a down program over the last few years, they are beating Pendleton Heights 27-20 with 2:39 left in the fourth quarter.
Wow. The coach there came from North Central Farmersburg, runs the same offense at that 4A school, the old triple option.
At the end of the third quarter, Delta is beating Yorktown 14-13. And a final score here, number 4 Danville in Class 3A, 41-0 over Crawfordsville. A big win for Jamie Comer's Warriors out there. And there's a high snap for the punt attempt. This ends up getting a rugby-style punt away, does Lambert.
And got the bounce,
and it
too.
takes a very good bounce there for Park Tudor as we wind within 5.5 minutes remaining in this contest.
As the clock continues to run. Uh-oh.
And now we got some Backstreet Boys going on here.
What? That's
NSYNC. See, this is how much that's how much I shows you how much I didn't pay attention to boy bands back when I was growing
Franklin
up.
Central upset Zionsville 24-21.
Wow, that's a big hit. Hoosier Crossroads Conference matchup right there.
Franklin beats Whiteland 35-21.
Another big one there.
Plainfield beats Perry Meridian 28-7.
Score update here from the Ben Davis Center Grove game. 38-21, Center Grove is on top in the fourth quarter. Elias Underwood with a lot of running room, gets across midfield, cuts it back, has more running room, gets it to the other side of the field, runs out of steam, flag down on the play as he gets inside the 20.
Are you ready for this? Mount Vernon beat New Pal 49-10. New Pal was up 10-0.
So 49 unanswered points by the Marauders.
49 unanswered points, yes.
That is hard to believe, and a big turnaround there. As you see Elias Underwood doing a little ankle breaking right here on this football field in front of us, and a very nice play for him. He has certainly had a big night in the stat book, but certainly hasn't translated much into points, especially in the second half.
Lawrence North defeated North Central 33-7. Oh, Mooresville. Mooresville beat Greenwood 70-14.
Heritage Christian defeating Eastern Hancock.
On the night.
Roncalli defeated Columbus North 45-12. Cecina defeated Beech Grove 26-14. Tri-West still leading Western Boone in the fourth.
And then Carmel is on top of Pike right now, 34-6 with 4:10 left in that ball game.
Underwood on the carry.
Underwood gets another carry as the penalty yardage on Traders Point backs the Knights up into their own territory. Inside 3 minutes left here in this ball game with the running clock.
A lot of great games out there, trying to get some from the north, getting scores from the north side.
And so as Sean Kroll mentioned earlier, Park Tudor, they are going to be at home again here this coming Friday, where they will be hosting Cincinnati Country Day out of Ohio. Another private school out of Ohio, as you see Underwood just get enough for a first down for the Knights. But then after that, they are back on the road against the aforementioned North Central Farmersburg. So a trip down there to northern Sullivan County for the Park Tudor Panthers here in just 2 weeks' time on September 24th. That game will be kicking off at 7 o'clock.
Look at you with your Indiana geography.
Traders Point, on the other hand, they have Frontier here at home. Back here in just a little bit, here about September 17th. And then they will be taking on Lapel a week afterwards on 9/24 on September 24th. So 2 home games in a row for Traders Point. Definitely something that they'll probably enjoy having there after taking this loss here tonight.
They will for sure. And real quick, I want to, if you don't mind, take a second to thank all those who sacrificed themselves and ran into the buildings 20 years ago. On September 11th, the anniversary is 20 years tomorrow. It's hard to believe it's been that long. Thank the firefighters and the first responders and all that put their lives on the line for the safety of human beings, and never forget.
And on that note, there will be a rededication tomorrow downtown Indianapolis at the Indiana 9/11 Memorial, where they will be adding a piece of the Pentagon made of Indiana limestone to the memorial, which was knocked loose from where the planes collided with the Pentagon. But they will also be adding a sapling from what is called a survivor tree, which is said to be the only tree within ground zero that survived the collapse of the Twin Towers.
Wow. How powerful is that?
And so they will be putting a sapling from that tree at the Indiana 9/11 Memorial. That will be rededicated tomorrow by the Indiana War Memorials and General Stuart Goodwin, who does excellent work in keeping the Indiana War Memorials maintained downtown.
All right, and that looks like that's going to take us to the end of this football game.
And so the running clock will wind down to 0, and Park Tudor will move to 3-1 on the season. Last year they started 4-0. Not quite the same start to the season, but nevertheless, they have a 3-1 record going into Country Day of Cincinnati next week. Meanwhile, Traders Point, they take their third loss of the season in their first 4 games, coming off of their win over South Newton. They now have an extra L to their record as they go into Frontier here next week.
I think there are some things to build on. You see what Tobias Grant can do on the kickoff team. Now let's try and work him a little more into the offense. You get Xavier Gibson, Sam Johnson, Tobias Grant. You get that speed in the outside. Teams have to plan for that. Elias Underwood can then get you up the gut with the run. Keep working on Cooper Simmons little with the passing game. Come sectional time, they could be a force to be reckoned with in 1A.
And that's the one thing, and it's funny that you bring that up, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast. Talking to Coach Sam Carnes, Traders Point probably plays a tougher schedule in the regular season than they will actually see in the postseason.
And again, I think that's one of those instances where he likes playing the Lapels and the powerhouse Lutherans and different schools like that above them, the Centervilles, because again, you kind of, it's almost like you're getting that callus, so to speak, to make you tougher, so that when sectional times come and you're going up against a 1A school that's as big as you are, you're like, dude, we played people bigger and badder than you. You're not going to scare us. And I think that does make a difference, and I like the approach by both schools.
It's funny that you mentioned Lutheran and Lapel right there, because Lutheran defeating Lapel tonight pretty handedly. So Lapel definitely taking a loss there, as they will have that one when Traders Point plays them in 2 weeks.
Dave Pash does a great job with the Saints, and one of these years he's going to get over the hump and get himself that ring.
Indeed he will. And so, once again, as both teams showing a sign of solidarity here as they gather at midfield for a prayer. Definitely good to see here, especially after what we saw transpire here tonight. And, talking again about what Traders Point was able to do tonight, a lot of it was just a lot of bad luck, especially late in that second quarter when they gave up 21 points in the matter of minutes, based off of literally just some freak plays that ended up going Park Tudor's way.
It's almost, I liken it to that old Looney Tunes cartoon where Daffy Duck trips on the mountain and starts to roll down the mountain, and next thing you know, it's a giant snowball and you can't stop it. You can't stop it. That's kind of what happened in those time frames. The snowball got rolling and there was nothing Traders Point could do to stop it, and that just happens sometimes. You got to tip your cap. Let's watch the film. Okay, we'll watch the film. Here's where we can improve. Now let's forget it and move on.
Indeed, they'll have to move on here as they play Frontier next week. Meanwhile, Park Tudor will host Country Day of Cincinnati out of Ohio. So they will have a good game against them next week here in just a couple times here. Of course, lots to improve on here for Traders Point, but Park Tudor certainly have a lot to brag on here as they take a 3-1 record into their next game here against Country Day. Just a lot of plays that we saw here tonight that were just unbelievable.
I mean, this game had it all. If you have friends that did not watch this game, have them go out to IndianaSRN on YouTube and watch the highlights to see some of the craziest, talented, wackiest plays you have ever seen in high school football. They will thoroughly enjoy it.
Indeed they will. And, of course, there will be some other action that you can enjoy here on IndianaSRN.org coming up here in the next week or so, on top of the HCAC matchup that you'll be able to see here tomorrow here on IndianaSRN, kickoff at 1:30. You also have plenty of other games. Volleyball action coming up on Monday between Greencastle and Edgewood. That game slated to start at around 6:30. Then on Tuesday, Covenant Christian and Chittard in some volleyball action. I have the call on both of those games coming up on IndianaSRN here next week. On Wednesday, you can catch Greencastle at home again against Northview in some volleyball action. Thursday, more volleyball, Covenant Christian between Danville, as well as Heritage Christian hosting Decatur Central in that game. Then you'll have some soccer action coming up on Thursday, Heritage Christian hosting Covenant Christian. Then a full slate of football coming up next week. You have Greencastle at home against Park Heritage, Covenant Christian taking on Tindley, and then Traders Point taking on Frontier. Those games set to all start at 7 o'clock, and then Heritage Christian also taking on Cecina and Mount Vernon against Delta. All of those games kicking off at around 7 or 7:30.
I know you're excited for HCAC football. It doesn't start till October 2nd. But that's okay.
2nd. Okay, then.
That's okay. We're excited. I'm so ready for it. It's going to be super exciting. This post game, there's so many highlights to show in the post game. It's unbelievable that all these different things that have happened. The hook and ladder, kickoff returns, interceptions, 75-yard runs. You see right here, whoop whoop, as Chris Berman used to say.
That was his second touchdown of the night, was Charlie Perrine.
And I think the one thing that really jumps out to me, in spite of the score here, is there are talented athletes at the 1A level, folks. There are. You cannot look down on 1A football and say it's just 1A. Jack Kaiser won Mr. Football. He's playing at Notre Dame. 1A football is good football.
Absolutely, and you definitely cannot. And this game was even competitive up until about midway through the second quarter, when things really started unraveling for Traders Point. And that's something that Traders Point can definitely hang their hat on, is the fact that they know what they have to do to win. It's just a matter of putting together a full 4 quarters of football.
Oh, 100%, and they've seen themselves be able to do that. It didn't happen tonight. Again, be a goldfish. 10-second memory. Sorry, I had to throw my Ted Lasso reference in there.
Of course. Why wouldn't you? Well, that'll pretty much do it here for us here from Park Tudor School here on IndianaSRN. For all of us here at IndianaSRN.org, for Jerry Collins, our on-site engineer, for Sean Kroll, guys, pleasure working with you tonight, my friend.
Fantastic. Enjoyed every minute of it.
I am Kurt Darling saying so long till next time. You have been watching 1A IHSAA football action here on IndianaSRN. So long, everybody.